It all started in Central Florida nearly 10 months ago. Now it will be settled in southern part of the state. Tonight, the first of 3 NASCAR champions will be crowned. Last week in Phoenix, points leader Eric Jones and 2-time defending champion Matt Crafton wrecked during an intense battle for the lead.
Side by side as they go through 3 and 4.
They're together.
Oh, they're together. And there goes Sauter. Oh, man.
Jones left Phoenix with a 19-point lead over Tyler Reddick and 32 points ahead of Crafton. Tonight, it's one final race to crown a champion as one of these 3 drivers will hoist the trophy. It's time to get you set up for Truck Series racing in Homestead. The inaugural NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship was won by Mike Skinner in 1995. Since then, 12 drivers have hoisted the hardware, including 4-time champion Ron Hornaday, 3-time champion Jack Sprague, and 2-time defending champion Matt Crafton. Welcome, everyone, to the Setup Show on Fox Sports 1. Here's a look at the point standings heading into tonight's race. 19-year-old Eric Jones leads fellow 19-year-old Tyler Reddick by, coincidentally, 19 points. Matt Crafton leads all drivers with 5 wins this season and is mathematically still alive. However, if Jones finishes 15th or better, he will claim his first NASCAR Truck Series championship. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Setup Show. I'm John Roberts alongside of Ray Dunlap and 2-time Trucks champion Todd Bodine. Todd, you've been in this situation 2 times before when you've won the championship. What do each one of our 3 competitors have to do to get this thing done tonight?
Well, all 3 of these guys have different agendas tonight. Matt Crafton, he's approaching this like it's any other race. He just wants to win. That's what he does. That's what he wants to do, win this race. Tyler Reddick, he has to win this race. He has to win and hope that Eric Jones has some issues. That's his only shot at this championship. And Eric Jones, he wants to win this race, but he has to look at the big picture. He has to finish 15th or better, and if he does that, he is the champion.
And, Ray, we've seen a lot of strange things happen in these championship races.
Unless a meteor comes out of the sky and hits Eric Jones's truck while it's on the grid, Matt Crafton will not win this championship tonight. But Tyler Reddick has a shot, and here's why, folks. Back in 2003, Brendan Gaughan came into the race with a 29-point lead. That's about 9 points now. And he thought he was in really good shape. Guess what? Marty Houston hits the wall, crashes into Brendan. He finishes 29th that night and ends up 3rd in the points. Tyler Reddick has to have things go his way, but it could happen. Don't put Eric Jones' name on the trophy just yet.
Yeah, we still got to run this race. The 2015 season started back on February 20th at the Daytona International Speedway. Since then, 13 different drivers have won the 22 races. With just 1 race to go, our 3 contenders know that it could go down to the final lap.
The championship contenders of Jones, Crafton, and Reddick.
We've talked about them since the very beginning of the season at Daytona.
Will there be a plot twist in this championship story?
It's been very different who's got control of the momentum, who's in the lead.
It's been a roller coaster for sure, and we've had our highs of highs and had our lows of lows.
Eric Jones and Matt Crafton really set the pace this year, and it's been fun to keep up with them.
I'm so competitive. I'm 39 years old, but I don't even feel any different than I was when I was 22.
But you can't let down your guard. I think we need to go into Homestead with the same mentality we've raced with all year. We're going to win the race.
I know that I can go out there and beat these guys each and every week if we do everything right.
We've seen crazy things happen in racing. That's why it's not over till it's over. 1 lap, 1 caution, just 1 wreck can change it all.
So far this season, we've had 13 different winners in 22 races. 13 different drivers have won the pole position. 8 different teams have won a race. And the points lead has been less than 15 points in 15 of the 22 races. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the qualifying highlights. And Todd, Eric Jones will start 5th. He's had top 10 starts in all but 2 of the races this season.
Eric Jones, average start this year of 4.6 with an average finish of 6.3. That's all he's got to do tonight.
And Tyler Reddick will start in the 4th position.
4 straight top 5s for this young man. He leads all drivers with 13 in the season. A year ago at this race, he started 4th. He ended up finishing 6th.
Now for Ben Kennedy, this is his best start since winning the pole back in Atlanta in February. He will start 3rd.
His 5th top 5 start of the season. It's his home state with a home sponsor. Be a perfect place to get his first win.
Second qualifying for John Hunter Nemechek, but Ray, this is a very special race tonight.
Yeah, an emotional night tonight. John Hunter, for the third time in his career, will start on the front row. But remember, his Uncle John passed away after a crash at this racetrack in March of 1997. John Hunter wasn't born until 3 months later. If they get a win tonight, might be the best story of the year.
One of our 3 drivers who are still alive for this championship, Matt Crafton, is on the pole.
His 5th pole of the season, JR. He's got one thing on his mind. That's win this race.
And he's off to a pretty good start because, Ray, as we take a look at the front of this starting grid for the Ford EcoBoost 200, we now have Matt Crafton with the best view of the green flag when it waves.
6 different drivers have gotten their first career win at this racetrack. Ben Kennedy could be in line for that tonight. Daniel Suarez, another guy on that list, and Daniel Hemrick. Any one of those 3 guys would be a great story.
And here are some other notable starting positions.
Timothy Peters going for his 8th top 10 in a row. Phenomenal. 2 wins in there also. And how about Austin Terrio? Starting 18th, his first time back in a truck since his bad crash at Vegas. Hope the best for him tonight.
Yes, welcome back to him. It's time now for our grid report. And for that, we check in with Vince Welch, Hermie Sadler, and Matt Yoakum from the track. And Vince, let's start with you.
Thanks, JR. You know, as the championship leader with a 19-point cushion, Eric Jones and this Ford team came here to Homestead prepared for the worst-case scenario. In fact, they brought 3 trucks, the primary and 2 backups. They were hoping to avoid the worst-case scenario of disaster in practice and qualifying, and fortunately for them, they did. So now they go to the race with one goal in mind: close the deal. And if they do, Eric Jones will finish the night as the youngest champion in Truck Series history. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Vince, this 19 team of Tyler Reddick, what a scrappy bunch this team has been. They have maintained touch with this championship battle on the strength of 4 consecutive top 5 finishes. Now, as far as practice today, it went very, very well. They unloaded with a tried and true setup. They tried a new setup, went right back to what they knew, actually felt good enough about the truck to end practice early. Qualified 4th, they know to keep pressure for this championship, they need to go to victory lane, and that's exactly what they tell me they plan on doing. Matt Yoakum.
Hermie, musical icon Jimmy Buffett wrote a song about his frustrations with math, and that is Matt Crafton's life here tonight in Homestead. 2 big championship hits at Talladega and Phoenix. Now tonight, he's got to be perfect. Max points. He started off perfection in qualifying. He's on pole. Now, he told me earlier today his truck was fantastic in the daylight, but he had some concerns. Still cautiously optimistic, though, about his truck at night. And keep one more thing in mind. 12 years ago, Travis Kvapil came to Homestead 34 points out of the championship lead. That night, he left as the champion. So you just never know. JR?
Matt, thank you. We will hear from all 3 drivers at the track later in the show. 2-time defending champion Matt Crafton entered this season with 5 career wins. The 39-year-old driver has equaled that number heading into tonight's race. Crafton will also make his 361st career start in the Truck Series, passing Ron Hornaday for the most all-time. Here's the driver of the Thor Sport 88 truck reflecting on his 15th season.
Matt Crafton's walking around with more confidence than I've ever seen in Matt, and he's been around here since 2001.
He's a 2-time champion, back-to-back titleist, and he's trying to take this crown out from underneath Eric Jones at Tyler Reddick.
It's been a roller coaster for sure. I mean, we've had our highs of highs and had our lows of lows. We led a lot of laps and won quite a few races, but we just had too many mistakes. I knew that we had to win a couple of the last 4 races to put ourselves in championship contention. Some days you're the ball, some days you're the bat. So, I mean, Phoenix, we missed it.
Matt Crafton in this 88 is far worse off than the 4.
They're not going to fix that truck.
I'm so competitive, and I'm 39 years old, but I don't even feel any different than I was when I was 22. I know that I can go out there and beat these guys each and every week if we do everything right. And I know I got the best crew chief and the best crew guys that are out there, so I'm loving life right now. We've had 5 wins, and if we could go into Homestead and be able to win that race, that would be huge. Even if we didn't win the championship, I mean, they know we have been there all year, and when they know that we have been one of the teams to beat, if not the team to beat, each and every week.
Here's a look at some of Crafton's numbers this season. He's got 5 wins, 4 poles, and 4 of those wins have come on a 1.5-mile track. 361 career starts, and that is the most all-time. With all those starts, though, Todd, for Matt Crafton, it comes down to this very simply. He's got to get it done tonight.
He's got to get it done. But, you know, in Matt's 2 championships, he led the points in the second half of the season. He didn't have to worry about it. He was the chaser, or chasee. Now, this year, going to Phoenix, he was the chaser. And it's a different mindset. It's a different feeling. There comes a little desperation feeling, and I think that's what got the best of him last week at Phoenix, trying to pass Jones for the lead, and he just felt like he had to get it done. Crashed out and basically took himself out of the chance for this championship.
Todd, he had never had more than 1 win in a season till last year, and he got 2. And this year he's got 5. So that's an incredible season. When he won the championship a year ago, he had 833 points. Going into tonight, he has 4 less than that. So it's been a fantastic year for Matt Crafton. Only problem is it's been a better year for Erik Jones.
Yeah, 2 championships in a row. It is very difficult to get a 3rd one, as Matt Crafton has shown us. But 19-year-old Tyler Reddick has his sights set on a championship tonight, and he will start 4th when the green flag waves. Coming up next on the Setup Show, Tyler Reddick looks back on his first full-time season in the Truck Series and on his chances of winning it all. And Erik Jones could become the youngest champion in Truck Series history. Here's what some of the drivers have to say about this young phenom.
Erik's really tough.
He's got a lot of talent, that's for sure.
He's definitely pretty aggressive. He gets out there at the track, but he's super smooth.
He's in really good equipment. They've been consistent all year.
He's one of the most focused drivers I've ever been around.
Anybody that's running for a championship at the end of the day has got their head on their shoulders correctly.
He knows when to push situations and when not to, and he always finds himself in a good situation.
Talk about anyone you want in the garage. There's no disagreement on that kid. He can wheel with the absolute best of him.
What a special place to be, pit road on one of these championship nights.
Beautiful night in Florida, and Tyler Reddick says, bring it on.
19-year-old Tyler Reddick has been dubbed the California Kid, and here's what his peers had to say about this driver for Brad Keselowski Racing.
I like Tyler. He's a funny guy. He has the speed when he needs to. He's very smart.
He's the one where you're running around on the bottom trying to just hold your position, and he's got 4 wide on the top.
He always seems to put himself in a position to finish and finish well.
They have a ton of speed, and they've shown that by winning races this year. So if he can get that back, he's going to be right there.
He's one of those kids that's just got that innate feel, that innate sense of speed, and he's put himself in some really great places this year, and as such, he finds himself in a title hunt.
Here's a look at some of the numbers Tyler Reddick has put up this season. 2 wins, 13 top 5s, and top 10s in 13 of the last 15 races. Tyler Reddick has 2 wins this season, has been near the top of the standings all year long. The odds, however, are stacked against Reddick in terms of leapfrogging Erik Jones, but he is committed to winning a championship.
Tyler Reddick trying to win for the first time in his career. They are fanning out behind him. Reddick comes across the line, and he will score his first ever win, and it will come tonight at Daytona.
A lot of people put a lot of effort into trying to get me to victory lane, and to finally see that happen was just a great sigh of relief for everybody, and realizing, all right, now we got 1, we got to go get 2, and we did at Dover.
And in only his second try here at Dover, he scores and beats the monster. Tyler Reddick gets the win of the Lucas Oil 200.
Ever since then, we've been fighting for 3, but we've been fast, and we've been continued to get better, and that's always exciting, for sure.
Matt Crafton's trouble has put the California Kid, Tyler Reddick, at the head of the points right now.
I didn't really think about points. Didn't really even want to count them until obviously this week, because anything can happen at each of those races that can affect it. I mean, 1 lap, 1 caution, just 1 wreck can change it all.
Trouble back over in turn number 8. It's our points leader, Tyler Reddick.
He had a rough stretch there through the summer that kind of set us back a little bit.
What huge point implications. This is really going to hurt him.
We got back in a rhythm, and we've just had a great year. We've ran really good, and we've definitely had speed.
Right to number 2, 26.290.
Great job by Tyler Reddick.
Now that we got 1 race left, we understand what we have to work with in this final race and what we got to do to have a shot at winning the championship.
So, Ray, clearly they understand what they're up against tonight. But then again, you know, there's still a chance they can get this done.
13 top fives this year, Johnny, and that has been the most of any other driver out there. But here's the problem for Tyler Reddick. They ran out of gas at Kansas. You saw that crash when we were at the road course in Canada. And at Texas, this team completely shot themselves in the foot. So those 3 races have really hurt them a lot. But I have to say this, Todd, when I look at 2016, I think Tyler Reddick and Doug Randolph, those guys together, could be a real shot at a championship if they don't win it tonight.
I think you're right, Ray. But, you know, you talk about 2 wins and the consistency they had with all the top 5s. And I think that's because of his growth as a driver. Last year, he was a kid that was fast but got himself in trouble. This year, he's a kid that's fast and he's being smart. If he's got a truck that's going to finish 5th, that's where he's going to finish. He's not going to try to finish 3rd and get himself in trouble. So that's why he's put himself in this position.
Could get it done tonight, but needs a little help along the way. It certainly can happen. So we got to take a quick break here on the Setup Show. There is the trophy. It's the first big prize given away on this championship weekend. 2 more after that. Now, when the Setup Show continues, 19-year-old Eric Jones has put himself in prime position for not only his first Trucks championship, but also it would be very significant for his boss, Kyle Busch.
We've been fortunate enough to win the Owners' Championship the last 2 years with the 51 team, and to be able to back it up and do it with a Drivers' Championship in our first full-time season, that'd be a really, really cool deal.
Todd, you were in Eric Jones' shoes once.
Yeah, twice actually.
Twice, sorry.
I was nervous though.
Welcome back to the Setup Show, everybody. Eric Jones started this year as one of the most promising rookies on the NASCAR circuit. Tonight, the 19-year-old driver can end the season with his first championship by finishing 15th or better, but it's been an up-and-down journey to get here.
As much hype as we had early on in the season, I think we were expected to win the championship, and I think that kind of grew on us. And I don't know if that was necessarily a good thing for our whole group, especially when things weren't going right. It really kind of brought everybody down.
Eric Jones shaking that track as he's getting they're out of fuel. It's going to be a photo finish, sliding sideways at the line. Casey Kane wins it at Charlotte. We saw the celebration. Now you see the disappointment.
Eric Jones led 57% of the last 3 races without a win.
You know, going through that was something I never really went through before. My races were so spaced out, I never really had time to have that back-to-back bad luck. As the season went on and I felt like we were a little bit out of it, I think everything just kind of settled back into place and we were able to get back in a groove and start to get back, you know, to where we really needed to be.
Eric Jones wins his 5th victory in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
In that win, that was such a big momentum boost for us in so many ways. I felt like we deserved so many wins before that. To finally get one, it was just a big day overall and a big day, honestly, in the whole season and the championship.
Eric Jones is really doing something special.
Eric Jones is really in a league of his own.
I think for the last 3, I honestly thought that we were going to have to win. If not win, run very, very well. Fortunately, in Texas, we ended up winning, and that was a big one for us to get kind of a boost back into the lead and get a nice cushion again. I think we need to go into Homestead with the same mentality we've raced with all year. I don't think we need to change. We've all wanted it pretty bad this year, and we've all worked really, really hard to get to this point. And now going into in the last race here at Homestead to have a cushion in the championship, that's pretty awesome.
Here's a look at some of the numbers Eric Jones has accumulated this season. He has 3 wins, 5 poles, but finished top 10 in the last 14 races. And certainly Eric Jones has one of the brightest futures out of any of the young NASCAR drivers we're looking at right now. But, Todd, you can't lose sight of what could be tonight his first championship.
Yeah, that's right, Johnny. You know, imagine being 19 years old and have the opportunities he's had this year, driving those cars, Xfinity and the Cup cars, and this truck. But the thing that's impressed me about this whole thing is he never lost sight of the focus on that truck and what their plans were and what their goals were to come out here and win this championship in that Tundra and be a champion. And that's what's impressed to me.
And Todd, here's the thing. In a couple hours from now, if Eric is able to hold that trophy up, he'll be the youngest champion in Truck Series history. Guess what? He is going to be fantastic when we get over to the Xfinity Series. Guess what? I think he's the odds-on favorite to win next year, and he's on the fast track to the Sprint Cup Series, Johnny. I believe that this young man could be the first driver ever to win all 3 championships in NASCAR's top division.
Well, so we're certainly getting a glimpse into the future tonight. When we come back, we'll hear from the 3 drivers competing for tonight's championship. Jones, Reddick, and Crafton will join us when the setup continues. That is the big prize for tonight. So let's check in with our 3 reporters once again. Here's Vince Welch with Matt Crafton.
Thanks, JR. Erik Jones hopes to close out his first NASCAR championship tonight. You come in a different situation than your challengers. They have to win. You don't. How does that affect or alter the way you race this race tonight?
Well, I think, you look at it from both sides, and some people may want to be the defender, I guess you could say, or the guy chasing them down. So for me, I'd rather be the guy with the points gap and being able to go out and have a conservative night and run like we have all year. There hasn't been a race this year that we've ever finished outside of the top 10 in a mile and a half, so hopefully we can keep that going tonight, and qualifying 5th was a great effort for us. So it's been a fun weekend in Miami. We've all been enjoying it. KSTD's on the truck, some extra supporters down here in Miami. Just excited to get this thing going, man. It's ready for it to be done.
Kyle Busch Motorsports has won 3 owners' championships, but never a driver's title. What would it mean to you to be able to give Kyle that, and also for yourself?
Well, I think, we all look at it as, I would love to win it and hope we can win it. And I think Kyle looks at it as he wants to win it just as bad, if not more than me. So he's been wanting a driver's championship since KBM started. And that was their ultimate goal from the start. So to be in position to be the first guy to do that, I don't think I can really come up with a better way to repay him for the last 3 years than to get him a driver's championship.
Yeah, it could be a most memorable night tonight for Erik Jones as he looks to clinch the championship for Kyle Busch Motorsports as the driver's title.
Well, Vince, Tyler Reddick, you've worked all year to put yourself in this position. What are your emotions as you get ready to strap in and race for your first NASCAR championship?
Well, for us and our team, our BBR Music Group F-150 needs to go out there and win the race. We got nothing to lose and everything to gain, for sure.
That's Tyler Reddick, ready to hop in, see if he can get it done tonight, Matt.
Hermie, 1 week ago, Matt Crafton swung for the fences and missed. Tonight, he's going to need a walk-off home run and a little bit of help. So do you put the deficit out of your mind, or do you use it as a motivator, Matt?
We're going to do the same thing what we've done from Daytona all the way until we went to Phoenix. We're going to try to lead laps, try to get the checkered flag and get max points. And like I said, we can't control what happens with the other 2 we're racing for the championship. Like I said, we have to have a huge night, and they have to have a bad night. I don't wish any bad luck upon them, but like I said, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Perfection early, you're on the pole. If you had a concern about tonight's event, what would it be?
Just practicing during the day. That's one of the hardest things here is practicing during the day, and then you race at night. And there's such a huge swing from day to night here, and the trucks handle so much different during the day. And we try to build enough adjustability in it during the day, so when it does cool off so much that if we are still a little bit off, we can make the right adjustments to get this Menards Toyota Tundra in victory lane.
One other extra motivator for tonight. He's never won from the pole. 4 times this year he's started up front. JR?
Matt, thank you very much. No matter what happens tonight, chances are we're going to get a good glimpse into the future of NASCAR.
Yeah, I think all 3 of these guys deserve to win this championship. They've all had championship years. They've done a great job. It's been fun to watch them all year, going back and forth in the points, but we've got one more race to decide who's taking home that trophy.
Todd, here's the thing. The truck that Erik Jones is driving tonight is chassis 21. It's won 8 of the 11 races it's been in. I think Jones goes in there. He powers to a victory tonight, holds up the trophy as not only the Sunoco Rookie of the Year, but also the title.
And we shall see. It's time to go racing for one final time in the Camping World Truck Series. Adam Alexander, Phil Parsons, and Michael Waltrip will have the call. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Sit back and enjoy.
It all comes down to this. One more race, one more chance. Erik Jones stands atop point standings, while stiff competition sits within striking distance of the title.
In front of everyone is the number 19, Tyler Reddick.
Matt Crafton is making a statement. If you're going to win a championship, you're going to have to come through me.
This season, there have been many ups and downs. But right now, tensions are higher than ever. Will we see a first-time champion? Or will a veteran make history and be the first to get 3 in a row? Only one will be champion. Who will it be? Racing in Homestead is next.
There's a buzz in the air in South Florida. It's Ford Championship weekend for NASCAR. Tonight, it's the Ford EcoBoost 200 for the Camping World Truck Series. Let's look at the 3 drivers alive for a championship. Matt Crafton has won 5 times this season. He's picked up the last 2 titles in the Truck Series, but he's 32 points out. He's got a long way to go if he's going to make it 3 in a row. Second in the title chase is 19-year-old Tyler Reddick. He's got 2 wins this year, one coming in the season opener at Daytona, but if he's going to win this championship, he's got to win tonight. And the man everybody just chasing, Erik Jones, a 19-point advantage. If he finishes 15th or better tonight, he will be the 2015 Camping World Truck Series champion. We'll find out who gets the title later. Now we're going trackside for pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Homestead Air Reserve Base Security Forces Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Sammy Flores from Christ Fellowship offers our invocation.
Lord, we thank you for this day that you've given us, for this opportunity, the freedom that allows us to be here tonight. We pray that you would be with the racers, protect and watch over them and their families. And we thank you for our military, some who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We pray that you would be with them and protect them and their families. God bless this country, and God bless our evening tonight. In Jesus' name now we pray, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome 8-year-old singing sensation, Isabel Elena Simpson.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
South Florida. Some of NASCAR's biggest young superstars set to do battle at Homestead. The command of fire engines is next on FS1. Back live at Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight marks the 14th time the Camping World Truck Series has wrapped up their season in South Florida. And the topic of conversation all night long is going to be about the championship battle. So let's go ahead and open up our clipboard. And when you talk about the title chase, there are plenty of numbers you need to check and cross off. And of course, when you're running for a championship, that means on track, you better be aggressive. So good to have you with us on a Friday night on FS1 with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. So we know we're going to talk championship. And when you talk about the title, the favorite, no doubt about it, is Erik Jones, Phil.
And what an amazing season for this 19-year-old. first full season of NASCAR competition, and he's trying to do the unthinkable, trying to become the youngest champion we've ever had in the history of this series. Let's take a look at some of the numbers for Erik Jones this year. What an amazing year. He's had top 10 finishes in his last 14 races. He's led almost 30% of all the laps that have been run this year, and he's got 19 top 10 finishes in our 22 races. All he's got to do is finish 15th or better, and he has finished worse than 15th 4 times in his career. That's how good this young man is. But to get that championship, Michael, he's got a couple of guys chasing him that are pretty good.
Yeah, and the plan is simple, Phil. Win. It isn't simple to execute that plan, but they know what they have to do. Like Tyler Reddick did when we were in Central Florida to kick off the season in Daytona. He drove his Ford straight to victory lane, started off this season with an exclamation point and said, I'm going to be a part of this championship battle. And Matt Crafton, he decided he was just going to close strong, started winning, won 5 races this year, got a big win at Martinsville, and gnawed into Erik Jones's championship lead. These guys are in a hole, though. They got to do one thing. They have to win and hope that Jones struggles.
You know what I love is when championship contenders rise up with a title on the line. All 3 of these guys qualified inside the top 5. It's Matt Crafton who is on the pole for the 4th time this season and the 11th time in his career. It's going to be one great night here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. 3 drivers, 1 championship. Right now, we're going trackside. We're getting the command of fire engines at Homestead Miami Speedway.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, F-150 Marketing Manager, Eric Peterson.
On behalf of Ford and Built Ford Tough Trucks, it is my honor to say those 4 words. Drivers, start your engines!
Fired up when you're ready. Looks good, shut her back down. Yeah, 10-4. Thank you, sir.
It's been a long day for everyone in the Camping World Truck Series garage. It began with practice this morning at 9. The only thing left on the to-do list is race. We're going green next. It's just about time for the season finale in the Camping World Truck Series. FS1 live in Homestead, Florida. Camping World Truck Series. Racing here and wrapping up their season at this facility for the 14th time. Now our Camping World track description and race analysis.
Well, the track description is simply tough. I mean, this track is tricky in the corners. The banking is progressive. The groove fill could be all the way from the apron out next to the wall. Scrubbed up right sides is something you're going to see a lot of tonight, a lot of action.
Let's take a look at our race analysis. 134 laps, 201 miles. You see our pit window somewhere between 50 and 55 laps. We estimate 2 pit stops, but these guys have an extra set of tires in the pits. They could stop late for fresh tires if they wanted to.
We've seen tires make a big difference on these trucks, so there could be some strategy played at them.
You've seen the numbers. Now let's take a look at our starting lineup. Qualifying happened earlier today. You watched it on FS1, front row. A youngster and a veteran, Matt Crafton, on the pole for the 4th time this season, and John Hunter Nemechek, looking for his 2nd win of the year, joins him up front. Tyler Reddick, one of our other championship contenders, on row 2 with Ben Kennedy. And the man who leads the championship starting in row 3, Erik Jones, rolls off 5th.
Let's see if we can catch a word with Eric as he rides around on the parade lap. Eric, it's Michael Waltrip and the guys up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy, friend?
Yeah, 10-4.
Well, buddy, I know you've heard all the talk. I bet it feels so good and sounds so good to hear that Toyota engine purring under the hood. Now it isn't about talk anymore. It's about going to race.
Yeah, it's definitely nice just to get this weekend going and hopefully get us a good solid race, a good solid finish, and get this Tundra the championship it deserves. So, like I said, just happy to get the race weekend going finally.
Well, your boss, Kyle Busch, has done so much for this truck series. It's got to feel great to be able to try to deliver him this championship tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think if we can win this championship, that'd obviously mean a lot for me. And it really even more to Kyle and the whole organization there. That's been the goal at KBF for the last, 5-6 years since they opened up to get a driver's championship, and hopefully we can be the first one to do it.
Well, we're going to enjoy watching it, buddy. Thanks for talking with us, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.
They did win the championship a year ago, but it was on the owner's side, not a driver's championship for Kyle Busch Motorsports. They hope that changes tonight. Let's take a look at our onboard cameras.
Yeah, how about Scott Lagacy, Florida native? He drives the Alert Today, Florida.com Chevrolet, and he started out the year third at Daytona back in February. He will start from the 16th spot.
Let's hop on board with last week's winner, Timothy Peters. He's in the Red Horse Racing Toyota Tundra, and he's going to roll from the 12th spot.
But why not ride along with our championship leader? We've talked to him. We've talked about him. Now Eric Jones wants to stop all the talk and get it done. He'll start from the 5th spot in his Toyota.
Well, we've got another championship contender in the Ford EcoBoost onboard camera, Tyler Reddick. He started the season with a big win at Daytona. Can he close it out tonight with another one in Florida?
Why not ride along with our other championship contender? Matt Crafton has had a career year. He told me today this is by far the best year I've ever had, regardless of where we finish in points. Junior Jonas said, we want 6 wins. We don't want 5 wins. He's going for that win from his Toyota, and he'll start from the pole.
Crafton, 10 wins in his career, 5 of them coming this season, 7 of them at 1.5 mile venues, just like Homestead Miami Speedway. Just about time to go green, but before we do that, we should hear from our pit reporters, Matt Yoakum, Vince Welsh, and Hermie Sadler. We start things out with Matt. Hello, Matt Yoakum.
Adam, we open up the season in Daytona with a first-time winner. 4 more drivers have joined that club, and tonight we could easily see a 6th. Daniel Hemrick has been impressive all year, turning in consistent top 10 finishes 3 different times. He has finished a career best 4th. Now, the thing that they focused on most in practice earlier today, longevity later in a run. They've had the speed, but just not the longevity. He feels pretty confident about his chances tonight, starting 7th. Vince?
Well, Matt, the stakes are high for different drivers for different reasons. Take Cameron Haley, 19 years old in his first season. He's had a terrific campaign, 6th in points, 4 top 5s, one of the top contenders for Rookie of the Year, a success on all accounts. But Haley still doesn't have a deal for next year. A strong run, not to mention a win, would close the season in high fashion and just maybe lure that sponsor this young driver so much deserves. They're more than capable of it. They've knocked on the door multiple times this season, and they've been good this weekend. Hermie?
Well, Vince, when you talk about drivers that we expect to win and win soon in any division of NASCAR, Daniel Suarez is certainly on that list. A lot of talent. He's shown the ability to go fast. He's got what it takes to get it done. 7 top 5s and only 12 starts this year. A couple second place finishes. He starts 6th tonight. Don't be surprised if that 51 truck is in the mix when we cross the finish line tonight at Homestead. Adam?
So many great stories throughout the field, Hermie. Said it earlier, Daniel Suarez, perhaps the most improved driver throughout NASCAR when you talk about 2015. And one more time, we remind you of the drivers going for a championship. There's a guy that's won the last 2. Phil talked about the fact that he wants a victory tonight, and just by taking the green flag, he makes history, becoming the all-time starts leader in Camping World Truck Series history, passing Ron Hornaday with 361.
Let's jump on board with Eric Jones. He's been told multiple times he just needs to finish 15th. Eric Jones has never heard that in his life. He's been about winning every race he's ever started in. I'm going to be really interested to see how this young man handles that. He's going to want to pull the reins back a little bit, make sure he's careful in his traffic early on, Phil.
Tyler Reddick, we've seen him out of shape so many times this year, but he brought it home each and every time. Let's listen to what he was talking about just a few moments ago.
Appreciate everybody's hard work all year. We've had a great year, had a lot of fun. Tyler, I just want you to relax and have a whole lot of fun tonight, man. Enjoy it. Definitely will. Another track, I'd rather do it than Homestead. I like this place a lot. Thank you, guys.
The front row, Matt Crafton, who chooses the outside lane for the start. Inside of him, John Hunter Nemechek. 134 laps to decide a champion at Homestead. Kennedy popping out of line.
Matt Crafton got the start tonight that he needed to get last week in Phoenix in order to still be contending for this championship in a serious way. What a great move on the front row. He's comfortably off turn 2 with the lead.
How about Suarez up there in that orange truck on the outside? Going to pull into the 3rd spot.
Sandwiched in between, championship contender Tyler Reddick. Keep an eye on Eric Jones. A little bobble for the 4. He's sliding back here at the beginning of this race.
3 wide back there for the 4th spot.
Spencer Gallagher going to the outside of John Hunter Nemechek. That's Ben Kennedy down to the inside.
Do these guys realize it's 134 laps?
Well, I know Eric Jones understands the message for sure, because that was unlike Eric Jones to start off so slowly. He settled in single file back in about the 7th spot.
How do you find that balance if you're Jones? Because you don't want to make a mistake. You want to keep your nose clean, but at the same time, you know, this is no layup drill. You got to take care of business.
You want to get in a spot. You want to get in between somebody. You don't want to be racing anybody side by side. Love to stay up there in the top 10, keep the leaders in sight, but really not have to race anybody right now. If they come up to you, then let them go. How about the damage to the 33 of Brandon Jones?
Second week in a row. He's had problems early. Wrecked at Phoenix last week in the early laps, and the same thing again here at Homestead.
And we said there would be right side damage to these trucks because they're going to rub the wall, but that was a hit of the wall. Serious damage to the 33.
Look at Gallagher, that blue and orange machine. The 23 looking inside of Suarez.
Look at the momentum. The momentum from the high side. Suarez got in the corner pretty easy. Gallagher drove right beside him, and then the momentum from the high side carried Suarez back around. Same thing down at this end.
Wow, I like the looks of this 23 truck. He can really motor through the center of the corner. Unable to complete the pass. We got a truck off the pace on the bottom off turn 2 there. That could necessitate a caution.
And there it is, first caution of the night.
Y'all want solid on the back.
Yeah, it's Brandon Brown, the 86 truck over there on the backstretch. We saw him go by our broadcast position on by the start-finish line earlier at a very reduced pace, and obviously couldn't make it back around.
And Brandon Jones was the truck that was into the outside wall. This caution won't save him. They've already gone 2 laps down, and that's significant.
We're hearing that possibly Mason Mingus in this 15 truck may have made contact. Look at down there. Look at the 15 of Mason Mingus was down there with his left sides on the white line, and Brandon Jones was right there, and they made contact.
Man, that just a bad angle for the right rear of that truck to come around, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty significant damage when you move the right rear corner of that truck over as far as he did.
Remember last week early in the race too at Phoenix, there was an issue between the 33 of Brandon Jones and William Byron in the Kyle Busch Motorsports truck. It looked like that maybe Brandon Jones didn't know Byron was there as he moves up the hill.
And he was clear for a moment, then the momentum on the high side brought William back around here. Wasn't quite clear, made contact.
You could see he either didn't hear his spotter or his spotter didn't say there was another truck on the outside. And this wreck tonight looks a whole lot like this one, guys, because he cut down on the bottom. The truck of Mason Mingus was all the way off the track when the 2 made contact.
Early caution at Homestead. Matt Crafton started on the pole and has led every lap so far. Championship on the line for the Camping World Truck Series tonight at Homestead, and championship implications for college football tomorrow on Fox. Look at that last game, 7:30 Eastern, number 10 Baylor trying to bounce back from that home loss to Oklahoma, getting the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, who remain unbeaten, and they are thinking about a title. Our coverage begins noon Eastern here on FS1 of the Big 12 with Iowa State and K-State. We're streaming it all live at Fox Sports Go.
I think Baylor's going to have about all they want of the state of Oklahoma. That's a couple of pretty serious matches there.
And I think that Brandon Jones has had all he wanted at Homestead Miami Speedway. Not a good start for driver 33.
Sure it wasn't. Take a look here. Right side of your screen. Looked like Brandon Jones had committed to go down to the bottom of the racetrack, and at the last moment, Mason Mingus drove his truck underneath the 33 of Brandon Jones. They made contact. Brandon got out of shape into the outside wall.
Yeah, that's hard to point a finger at Mingus. This early in the race, you've got tons of room to the high side you see there. You just really have to be cognizant of the trucks that are near you. Certainly don't want to make that move. Need a little help from the spotter there to make sure he knows what all's going on around Brandon.
Matt Crafton started on the pole. He's led every lap so far. Tyler Reddick up to second. And the guy that came in leading this championship, Eric Jones, went from 5th to 8th on that first green flag run.
Tight center. It's probably a too tight center. You can't race on the bottom. I mean, you're going to get destroyed on restarts on the bottom.
Well, the good news is he's going to be on the outside for this restart. He's going to restart in the 8th position.
And the other good news is he's got a cushion, and he's just looking for some space. And if his truck isn't good enough to charge aggressively forward, riding along in 8th is plenty good for now. And what about this championship battle we've had all year long? Everybody is doing exactly what they have to do right now. The 19 and Matt Crafton up there, Hermie leading the race, and Jones back there in a safe spot.
I tell you, Michael, hearing a lot of confidence on the radio for Tyler Reddick. He liked the way his truck fired off. Looking forward to this restart. Likes to balance on the 19.
But we need to keep an eye on Tyler Reddick here, because once again, Matt Crafton, the control truck, chooses the outside lane. And that means Reddick is on the inside. We will go green as we complete lap 8.
And every one of those trucks on the bottom are vulnerable. It's a really tough road. You heard Eric Jones. You'll get destroyed on the inside. Those trucks lined up down there are going to be challenged on this start.
Spencer Gallagher restarting in the outside lane. He doesn't get a jump. That allows Reddick and Suarez to slide up the hill. A huge break for them coming from that inside lane on the restart.
How about John Hunter Nemechek? He's going to try to make the bottom of the racetrack work in that 8 truck.
Look at him funneling out 3 wide down the back straightaway and into turn 3.
Nemechek likes that bottom. He's going to pull up in front of Reddick.
Great move by John Hunter Nemechek. And if you're going to make that bottom work, it's best to do it right after a restart.
Not sure that Nemechek got the start of the race he wanted, went from 2nd back to 5th, but on this restart here, he has worked his way into the runner-up position and hanging right with Crafton.
And there's no better truck in the middle of the corner than that 23 right there, Spencer Gallagher.
I love this kid. I like the job he's doing tonight. Very aggressive in the center. And you know, everybody wants to do what Gallagher's doing, but trucks just won't do that. He's making it work.
Eric Jones lost a spot on the restart. Ford truck is scored in the 9th position. On board with Tyler Reddick, he is 3rd.
See Johnny Sauter, that white truck coming up, trying to get beside the 23 of Gallagher, trying to gain a spot.
Sauter, only driver in the field that has a win at Homestead. There you see him in the 98. Slides up in front of Suarez in that bright orange 51. Sauter working the low lane. It got tight with Gallagher in the corner.
And he realized that it wasn't going to stick, so he got out of the throttle. Otherwise, he would have run into the 23 of Gallagher. How about a 3 wide here? Suarez on the inside.
I think Sauter lost the momentum, and here comes Suarez to take advantage.
We're seeing a lot of slide jobs here by these guys. They're driving the corner on the bottom and just let that truck go all the way out to the outside wall.
And people will allow you to make those moves early in the race. You start trying to do the slide job late, people will hold their ground. That's when you have accidents.
But did you see Hemrick get down on the white line? Thought he was going to slide up into Sauter. Now Sauter on a crossover. On board with Jones.
Eric Jones says, guys, just run single file out in front of me. Don't take any chances. Just run single file. Not going to happen.
There goes Sauter again around Gallagher, bringing Hemrick with him.
See Timothy Peters, the white and red truck, pulls beside Eric Jones.
Don't you love this racetrack, Michael?
I love everything about it. The way these trucks can move around. But Vince, I don't like what I'm seeing out of Eric Jones. Just keeps losing ground, buddy.
Yeah, they definitely don't like the way the truck is handling. You heard Eric say on the radio, it's about a too tight. They were going to make sure they weren't going to take any unnecessary chances throughout the course of the night. Not avoiding aggressiveness, but not taking any unnecessary chances. But I don't think this is what Rudy Fugle had in mind for his truck right now.
Qualified in the top 5 and has gone from 5th back to 10th in the running order and putting himself in some pretty compromising positions early.
I think right now he would be content to ride right there, let those 2 trucks in front of him settle that spot, but stay ahead of the truck behind him, the 13 of Cameron Haley.
What about Peters? He's just consistently moving forward. Now Ben Kennedy's going to look back to the inside. Peters lost all of his momentum when he made that move down on the bottom, and Ben took advantage of that.
Eric said, let me try it on the bottom here, see if I can gain a spot back on Timothy Peters.
Peters closes the door and takes a spot back away and dives down at the bottom. You know, that's how good Eric Jones is. He reported his truck a 2 tight. I don't think I was ever able to dissect it quite that specifically. Maybe 6 or 8 tight, but that's a good race car driver giving that report.
I get the feeling no problems for the 88. Let's hear from his pit. Matt Yoakum.
Adam, even though he was perfect in qualifying, he was still cautiously optimistic about how his truck would be in race trim under the lights. So far, it started out just a tick on the tight side, but now it's tight from the center to exit. He does have a healthy lead, just talking about what changes they may want to make on their first stop, but all's well with the 88 at this juncture.
Really hard to believe, Matt, that Matt Crafton is not going to win his third in a row, because he's had a career year, and he's out front tonight trying to run down his 6th victory of 2015. His lead, a second and a half. Nothing has changed out front here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Matt Crafton continues to lead the Ford EcoBoost 200, working through some lap traffic. His advantage is second and a half in front of John Hunter Nemechek. Tyler Reddick is third. Daniel Suarez is fourth. Johnny Sauter completes the top 5. Good battle here for the second position as Nemechek works around the 08 of Corbin Forster, and trying to run him down is Tyler Reddick.
But we talk about next year and the championship hopefuls. I think John Hunter Nemechek in that 8 truck has to be a guy that we have to consider maybe to be a championship contender next year. What a great strong finish he's had to this season.
A couple of second place finishes lately, the big win earlier in the season. This has been a great story. Talked to his dad, truck owner, Joe Nemechek. I said, what's it going to take, man? How do we get that next level? He said, we've got everything. Just need a little more budget. They can spend a little bit more money on their trucks, maybe on their pit crew. Who knows what changes he is talking about. He said, we've got this. We can win in this series consistently.
There's a couple of more drivers we might see full-time next year. Rico Abreu in the 31, making his second career start, and Jesse Little in the 97. That's for the 14th position on track.
Yeah, both of these drivers racing up inside the top 15. It's great to see that Austin Terrio back in the 29 truck. Last time we saw him was at Las Vegas with a hard crash. Had to miss a few weeks. He's back here at Homestead for the finale.
It's been a great day of learning for the 31 of Rico Abreu, Vince.
Well, and as you see Abreu there on the outside, running the high side, former USAC national champion, won the Chili Bowl, World of Outlaws winner. Open wheel race fans around the country love this young driver and hoping that he makes the smooth transition to NASCAR here in the Truck Series. Ran last week at Phoenix, but got crashed out early. Today, the goal, run all the laps. This is nothing but a learning experience for Rico Abreu. Solid in practice and qualifying. They want more of the same here tonight. Matt?
A wicked crash back at Las Vegas for Austin Terrio, back behind the wheel of the 29. He'd never even seen the Homestead Miami Speedway until yesterday. His teammate, Tyler Reddick, took him around the racetrack in the pace car, stopping at several different sections, giving him the good Cliff Notes version of how to get around this racetrack. Right now, he's battling a very loose race truck, calling for some different changes when they make their stop.
When he made those laps yesterday in the pace car, they walked by and asked crew chief Doug Randolph, the crew chief for Tyler Reddick, if he wanted to go along. Doug said, no, I'm good. Let the young kids have that.
Eric Jones makes the move around Timothy Peters. Grabs the spot back. He's up to 8th. I think, Phil, you would think that if the truck is a little bit tight, as these tires wear off, they're going to lose grip. Sometimes the truck just gets worse, whatever you were struggling with. But I would think they would get freer, considering how much the tires wear out here. What do you think?
I think so, too. And I was talking to his crew chief, Rudy Fugel, and he said he thought the racetrack would free up as we went, as the temperature cooled off. And it's certainly a lot cooler than it was when we practiced earlier today, as well as qualifying at 4 o'clock.
It certainly looks like, Vince, they've got their rhythm back.
Well, and one of the things that we've talked about throughout the course of the day is how quickly these tires fall off. And that's one thing Rudy Fugel talked with Eric Jones about. Don't burn off the tires. They're going to go away anyway, but let's treat them as gingerly as we can and still get the job done and let the others be aggressive on their tires and come back to us. And I think you're starting to see some of that right now with the Ford and Eric Jones.
And guys, that last lap, our fastest truck on the racetrack was Daniel Suarez at a 34.08, and that's almost a second and a half slower than the fastest laps we saw early on in the race, and that's after 26, 27 laps.
That Rudy Fugel's talking to Eric Jones like Harry Hope told Cole Trickle in Days of Thunder. Darrell Waltrip don't burn off his tires. We don't want you to burn yours off either, Eric. That's going to get you a championship.
You know it's going to be a good night if we've had a Days of Thunder reference and we're only 27 laps in. Everybody chasing Matt Crafton, who has not given up hope on a championship. 32 of 134 laps complete in the Ford EcoBoost 200, Homestead Miami Speedway. And you're on board with Matt Crafton, who is now the runner-up to John Hunter Nemechek. We had a lead change while we were away. That 8 truck is strong.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened to the 88. He just fell off so quickly. Matt Crafton had that huge second-and-a-half lead, about half the back straightaway, and Nemechek come calling. Watch how much further he drives down into turn 3.
Yeah, really, really good right now. And it almost looked like Matt Crafton hit a wall, and his truck all of a sudden wouldn't work as well as it had been.
Still in there. Still there, quarter.
Great job of being patient and making the pass, Hermie.
These two guys are still battling for the race lead. What you saw on the screen is exactly what John Hunter Nemechek said about his truck. Really good on entry, which is what we saw, how he initiated the pass. A little bit snug on exit, which is probably a good thing because some of the other competitors up front are complaining about getting free. But right now, the 8 is out front and fast. Matt?
The only chance that Matt Crafton has for the champion tonight is to swing for the fence. He had the track position, but now he's lost the forward drive off. His exit is hurting, as well as the center. Junior Joyner already talked to the tire specialist. They're going to make an air pressure change on the stop.
Crafton led the first 30 laps. Nemechek took over the top spot, has led the last 5, and now the battle for third. Daniel Suarez on the move. He and Tyler Reddick going at it.
Yeah, Suarez had that third spot for a bit now. Tyler Reddick's going to battle back on the inside to try to grab that third spot back. Get a little bit loose right there. Had to tuck in behind Suarez.
Yeah, this track is so much about momentum. You saw Daniel have to get around a lap truck, gave Reddick the chance to get back by. But let me tell you about Daniel Suarez. When practice started today, I was talking with his crew chief, Jerry Baxter. Baxter said he struggled mightily trying to figure out this track, Bill, and we understand that. This isn't your typical mile and a half. It takes timing. There's a lot of banking in the corners that sends your truck up the hill. You can't really get around this place wide open, so he struggled figuring all that out. Went and drove the Xfinity car, made some laps in that, and Jerry just said, I think he's figured it out now. Because Daniel Suarez over the last 10 laps has been either the first or second fastest truck, now into the third spot.
Adding to that learning curve, all the practice today. Doesn't matter truck, Xfinity car during the day, and now we're racing under the lights.
Well, and we know that's who Daniel Suarez is. Every time you give him laps, he just improves lap after lap, faster and faster, and that practice in the Xfinity car might be the key to him winning this race tonight.
And so important, as you mentioned, same tire on both the Xfinity car as well as these trucks.
Another thing you got to keep an eye on, the 4 of Eric Jones. Our championship leader qualified 5th. Not great in the early portion of this race, but it's settled down. The truck is coming to him. He's gone from 10th up to 7th as he works around the lap machine of Kyle Weatherman.
Perfect right now. He's a little bit over a second behind the guy running in front of him and a little bit over a second ahead of the guy running behind him. Exactly where he wants to be in a nice, comfortable spot.
Yeah, he's twice as good as he needs to be right now, running in the 7th spot. But, man, I guarantee you, this young man, 19 years old, if that truck starts to have a bit of a vibration, if the engine just goes off key for a half a second, I think he's going to lose his mind. I mean, he's got to have just a normal, boring, event-free night tonight. But those are hard to come by in NASCAR.
We haven't seen him have very much adversity this year, but he's pretty cool even in the face of adversity. I don't look for him to panic.
And every lap that goes by plays right into his hands. Remember, he just needed to finish 15th to clinch the championship. But that was with Tyler Reddick winning the race and leading the most laps. As of now, Reddick rides 4th, has not led a lap. Really good news for Eric Jones, 40 laps in here at Homestead. Nemechek in some lap traffic.
Well, that'll hurt his lap time. It's going to lose a lot of momentum. We're on board with Scott Lagasse looking over at Nemechek.
Lagasse trying to stay on the lead lap. Not going to be able to do so.
Yeah, now only 18 trucks on the lead lap. Scott Lagasse being the first one lap down. Open for a caution, maybe get that free pass.
Had that early caution, been green ever since. It's John Hunter Nemechek out front here at Homestead. It is getting good at the front here at Homestead Miami Speedway. That 8 truck, John Hunter Nemechek, he is in the race lead. But here comes Daniel Suarez. He got around Matt Crafton for second, and he just about got the top spot a moment ago.
Yeah, they were dicing through the lap traffic, and Austin Terrio, you see on the bottom there, he's been to pit road and got some tires, and he was charging up there. Look at Suarez. We talked about the laps and how much they've helped him. This truck's moving.
Looks like maybe Matt Crafton got hung up a little bit behind the 59 of David Levine, one of the lap trucks, lost his momentum, and Suarez just drove by.
There goes Terrio. Is he going to clear him? No, not able to move up in front of Nemechek.
Shows you how good Nemechek's truck is on old tires and still able to stay in front of that 29 that just came to pit road.
Yeah, Terrio really needs to use those new tires while he has them. Racing around here side by side with Nemechek's not doing him any good. That's we see Spencer Gallagher, one of our top 10 trucks on pit road.
And this would be a scheduled stop. Same for Matt Crafton. The window on this first cycle, somewhere just north of 45 laps. We've completed 47 at this stage of the race. Matt Crafton, the first of our championship contenders to make his way down the pit lane. He's headed toward Matt Yoakum.
Drew on the wall. Junior Jordan reminded him, no speeding, no mistakes. Slides to a stop deep in the box. Now, Crafton was saying he almost had to park the truck late center of the corner to get it to turn on exit. That's where he was having the most hindrance. Vince.
The 17 of Timothy Peters on pit road as well. Butch Hilton crew chiefing this truck as Marcus Richmond is not here this weekend. He's going to another team, so he's not with the 17. Chassis adjustment, 4 tires, working on Timothy Peters' truck. Hermie?
Daniel Suarez hits his pit stop for Jerry Baxter and crew. They struggled early today. Most of the changes to pick up speed has been with the line that Daniel Suarez was driving. He likes to balance and the grip, especially at the end of a long run. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, no changes for the 51. He's down and away. Now the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek comes down pit road. He has asked his crew for a little bit of help in the center of 3 and 4. He likes 1 and 2, too tight. In 3 and 4, it'll be 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, a little bit of an air pressure adjustment for John Hunter Nemechek, but no chassis adjustment for him. A little bit slow on the left side, but John Hunter Nemechek is down and away. The 19 of Tyler Reddick, he has been tight. 4 tires, fuel, air pressure adjustment for Tyler Reddick in the 19, Vince.
It's going to be a 4-tire change for your points leader, Eric Jones. A couple of cans of fuel as well. Air pressure adjustment, working on the balance of that 4 truck.
Was a little surprised that Tyler Reddick didn't stay on track for 1 more lap, pick up a bonus point for leading, as you see Christopher Bell, the youngster out of Norman, Oklahoma, getting his service in the 54.
And Eric Jones had that same opportunity to stay out 1 more lap, didn't do it.
On our scoring monitor, Reddick was shown as the race leader as guys cycled through, but he never crossed the start-finish line in that situation to lead a lap. Here's John West Howley.
He has been too loose, Adam. He wants more drive off the corner, so you can see the wedge wrench going in to make an adjustment, pretty substantial adjustment right there. Needs drive off 4 tires, Sunoco fuel for John West Howley.
Townley pitted the same time that Tyler Young pitted, and he had a lot more speed than Tyler. So either Tyler needs to pick up his pace on pit road, or John West is going to be in trouble for speeding. I don't know what the case will be.
We had a 2.5-hour practice session here earlier today. And in that session, guys were working really hard at getting to pit road under a green flag condition because you know this can pop up. I look at what Daniel Suarez has been able to do in this cycle. He's taken the lead away from John Hunter Nemechek, his advantage nearly a second. He was running in the second position when this green flag cycle began.
Yeah, but he pitted a lap before John Hunter, and by doing so, Phil, that could be as much as 2 seconds on the racetrack. We've seen that much fall off in the tires. That's why I don't think you saw Eric Jones or some of our other championship combatants stay out. They couldn't waste the tires.
Michael, watch this. Watch where John Hunter stops. You see the red little triangle there? That's where his nose should have been. And then he stopped a little bit short, so his tire changer had to move, and that could have been another second or 2 like we were talking, and that's why he probably lost the lead to Suarez.
half a second. The lead right now for Daniel Suarez as he works through lap traffic. But here comes Nemechek again. That 8 truck looks really good tonight, fellas.
Or it certainly does. And there's Matt Crafton lurking behind, about a second and a half behind them. We've talked for the last, couple months about Suarez. When Suarez going to get to victory lane? It could be in a truck. It could be in an Xfinity car. And it might just be tonight.
That's right. But John Hunter, not only is he a very talented young racer, but this team is inspired. That truck has 8 on it for Joe Nemechek's brother, John, who passed away in a crash here back in 1997. And John Hunter went to his dad and said, I want to run Uncle John's number, Dad. And I know that's a great family. The Nemecheks have been a part of the sport forever, and I know how much it would mean to get a victory here for them.
We had a great feature on the Race Hub this week about the Nemechek family, and what a story it would be if John Hunter could take that 8 truck to victory lane.
And it could be the difference in where they stand for 2016 in their program, because as you guys talked about earlier, they need some funding. You get a second win on this stage in the season finale, that could be a difference maker in where they are as far as coming back here one season from now and being in the championship hunt.
That truck looked great last week in Phoenix. It had Anderson's maple syrup on it, and Safeway, and Albert. I mean, it had sponsors all over it. It made me smile. And I know that would be a real difference maker for the team if they could put something together for 2016.
It's great to talk to Joe in the garage and see the pride he has in his eyes for his young son, who's done such an outstanding job. Couldn't run full-time this year because he didn't turn 18 until the month of June, but as soon as he did, boy, did he look good and fresh behind the wheel of that race car, and really has been on a roll ever since.
Really started out slow, only had 1 top 10 finish in his first 5 starts, and man, has he been piling up the top 10s and top 5s here recently.
Talk about the opportunity to get a first career victory. Daniel Suarez has been on the short list. He's in charge tonight with 56 laps complete.
Whoa!
Closing on the halfway point here at Homestead, and our race leaders in trouble. Second caution of the night, this time for Daniel Suarez.
Just went down underneath the lap truck trying to get by him. Had John Hunter Nemechek all over him. Just got a little bit loose. Got right beside that lap truck. Just got loose, guys.
And he's blown out his tires, too, so he's going to have to really be careful not to go too fast on the way back and tear his truck up.
Yeah, just take your time, Daniel. You don't have to fly around there.
And the good news for him, only 15 trucks on the lead lap. He's got plenty of time to come around, get it taken care of, and be in a good position. And the first truck 1 lap down, the 31 of Rico Abreu, so he will receive the free pass.
Check this out. He's down on the bottom. We talk about slide jobs. This looks like maybe he was planning on just taking that spot away from Dexter Stacy, and that there just wasn't room, Phil, and around he goes.
He just realized the one was there, and he wasn't going to be clear, and he eventually had to turn that truck to the left, and when he did, he lost the back end. Watch John Hunter go by on the outside, right back into the lead.
And I'm telling you, John Hunter couldn't see anything. That smoke had him blinded, and he was just hoping that Suarez would clear right there.
I don't know what dance you were doing over there when we came back from break, but I would say John Hunter was doing something similar inside that 8 truck.
I was driving the 51 at that point.
We saw it develop.
You were as sideways as he was.
I had my chair all spun around, and I blew his shoe off. He's got 3 tire problems.
So Suarez is going to come to pit road. It's our second caution of the night. John Hunter Nemechek, as we said, will take over the race lead. Matt Crafton, Tyler Reddick, Johnny Sauter, Ben Kennedy, your top 5.
Yeah, Suarez not going to lose a lap here. He's going to lose some track position, but
I think, though, as fast as that truck is and the way he's been able to move it around, he's going to work his way back to the front with no problem.
I think it's interesting, Adam, that you said you couldn't tell what dance I was doing. I've heard that a lot.
On a far bigger stage than this, right?
Remember, the pits were closed when Suarez made his way to pit road. He had no choice. He had to get those tires off. So he will have to restart from the tail end of the longest line, but he will remain on the lead lap.
Look over the right side.
Jerry Baxter is a very experienced winning crew chief. He'll talk Daniel through this, and they'll be back. They'll still be a part of this race up at the front.
So he'll restart in the 16th position, but behind every truck on the track. First cycle of pit stops in the race came under green. This time they'll come under caution, happening at lap 63. Vince, the four's headed your way.
Well, and the good news for Eric Jones fans, as you see Eric, the championship leader on the top of your screen, is that the adjustments they made on the previous pit stop have definitely helped the handling of this truck. They're not going to make any changes here, but they are just going to put 4 tires on it. Be safe, be smart. That's the motto tonight. Hermie?
Tyler Reddick is too loose. It'll be 4 tires fuel. They lowered the track bar on the right side. He needs more drive off. Matt.
No improvements over the last stop when they made changes to try to get the truck to turn better in the center of the corner. He couldn't be any more free on entry. Air pressure again to try to help the truck cut.
John Hunter Nemechek held serve off the pit lane. The number 1 pit stall good for Matt Crafton. He comes out second, and a 2-tire stop helping John West Townley. Here we are at Homestead. Tonight it's all about the trucks. Tomorrow the Xfinity Series, and on Sunday we will crown a Sprint Cup champion. A special 2-hour edition of Race Day comes your way at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on FS1, and then we recap all the festivities on Victory Lane at 10 Eastern Sunday evening. We're streaming it all live at Fox Sports Go, and in case you missed qualifying earlier today, here's how the championship 4 will line up. Kevin Harvick, the only driver going for the title that failed to make the final round of qualifying.
Yeah, but he didn't miss by much, just a couple thousandths of a second, and he will line up 13th. So all 4 of our championship contenders up in the first 7 rows.
Hermie, what's going on with John Hunter Nemechek here?
Well, he was a leader coming down pit road and leaving pit road a little free. They made the decision to tighten him up just a little bit to keep up with the changing track conditions, Adam.
They have managed the evening great so far. Just a few laps shy of the halfway point in the Ford EcoBoost 400. We'll restart as we complete lap 66. Nemechek on the front row. The control truck chooses the outside lane. Crafton to his left. Townley, who took 2 tires, restarts third. Then it's Reddick and Sauter.
Crafton's been all over these starts tonight. Another great win by Matt, and he's getting some drafting help from Reddick. Looks like it might push Crafton to the lead.
Yeah, and that inside will definitely work early on after a restart, but Crafton's going to go right to the top. He leaves the bottom open for Reddick.
Look at Sauter, almost got up into Townley. They're 3 wide.
And look at Ben Kennedy. We talked in practice how he had a really fast truck, and he's charging early. Is that some smoke out of Reddick back there?
I thought it was Terrio that had the smoke. Couldn't tell. We're getting a report now. It was the 29 of Austin Terrio.
We go halfway that time by with Matt Crafton leading and Johnny Sauter diving hard down into turn 1.
How about Eric Jones diving hard down into turn number 1? Gets by the 0.5, and he wants more side by side with a 14.
He kind of tiptoed through the early laps, making sure where that truck was, and now the guy that's won 3 times this year, championship lead coming in, starting to let it all hang out. Here's the battle for the top spot. John Hunter Nemechek had it at the restart, trying to grab it from Matt Crafton.
Look at that momentum from the high side. Matt Crafton knows where that truck runs the best. John Hunter's trying to do the slide job. He is going to be able to get out in front of Crafton.
Daniel Hemrick looking to the bottom. There's battles all over the top 10. Crafton's going to try low. Look how those trucks just lose all their grip right in the center of the corner. Crafton's able to pass Nemechek back.
The trucks feel so good you can drive down the corner as hard as you want, but when you have to start going the other direction, you lose the front end, or you have to chase it up the hill because the back end wants to slide.
Crafton has led 34 laps tonight, 24 for Nemechek, and they have really put themselves in their own class on this restart.
Update John West Townley's two-tire change. He's all the way back outside the top 10 already.
Yeah, let's mark that down, Michael. It's not working.
We won't do that if we're a front runner.
Daniel Suarez, who had the spin, restarted back deep in the field because he pitted too soon. Right now scored in the 16th position is the 51.
Whoa, this was right after the restart. We reported some smoke from the 29 truck, and that's where it came from. Made a little bit of contact with the 97 of Jesse Little.
He's able to get around Townley. Now Little will try to pass John West.
And how about Rico Abreu right there in the 31 truck? Back on the lead lap, got the free pass, running in the 15th spot.
And we've added some trucks to the lead lap because a few of them chose to take the wave around under that caution. So we've got 20 trucks on the lead lap.
That's not great news for Eric Jones. If there's any sort of problem, that's just more trucks that he will have to deal with on the lead lap. But right now, it's pretty smooth, running along in the 9th spot.
Timothy Peters trying to go back-to-back. How they feeling, Vince?
Well, they were way too loose on that previous run, and they came in and wanted to make air pressure adjustment and also get a spring rubber in the left rear. They got the air pressure adjustment made, but they could not get the spring rubber in the left rear. They told Timothy, do you want to come in? We'll lose some spots, but we'll get it. Make sure we get it in. He said, no, it's go time. I'll work with it. And he is. Running 8.
And you see Eric Jones in the 9th position. He restarted 7th, and let's go back to the pit stop he made under caution at lap 63, and a tough call right here as a tire gets away just briefly from the carrier on the front side.
Yeah, the rule says you have to maintain control of your tire. Got a wreck on the track.
3rd caution of the night, 2nd time that it involves the 33 of Brandon Jones.
Looks like a right rear tire probably cut down because he can't go anywhere.
Kid out of Atlanta, Georgia, will move on to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2016. Go full-time driving for Richard Childress. He heard the call on the radio to go to the garage.
A couple of second-place finishes for that young man. A lot of talent, but 2 weeks in a row, crashes early in the race. That'll just break your heart. When you're 18 years old and you need that track time, you need those laps. He's not getting them.
I'm going to go back one more time and looked at that last pit stop for Eric Jones.
And again, Michael, you said the rule is you have to maintain control of those tires till you at least get halfway back towards the pit stall. You see the left side, the left tire in his left hand got away from him. He went to chase that, and the right side tire got away from him. Never got more than about a foot or two out from his hand. So I think NASCAR reviewed that, we were told, and they called that they did a non-call on that, did not call that a penalty.
It was a situation where you would have to determine that he was more than halfway outside the pit wall from the box and make that determination.
Brandon Jones running up against the wall, just got a little bit loose. He may have had a right rear tire go down, but again, the aerodynamics of that truck are compromised from that earlier incident.
There you see him behind the wall. Free pass on this caution goes to David Gilliland in the 92. He was the first truck. One lap down. Matt Crafton shows the way at Homestead. We're just past halfway in the season finale. "58 laps to go in the season finale for the Camping World Truck Series. We're live at Homestead Miami Speedway on FS1. On board with Tyler Reddick, running 3rd right now. And a look at our Ford facts. 4 wins this season for the Blue Oval. Tyler Reddick getting a couple of those. Brian Blaney did it at Bristol. Joey Logano, first career victory earlier this season at Martinsville.
Yeah, right now Reddick would love to make that 5 wins for Ford and get one more win. He has to do all he can do to try to get ahead of the 4 of Eric Jones. Eric's out there doing a nice job running somewhere between 5th and 10th just this entire race. Exactly what he needs to do.
5 wins for Ford here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Among those getting to victory lane, Mike Wallace, one of the great veterans here in the Camping World Truck Series. What's going on with the race leader, Matt?
And Matt Crafton and Junior Joyner have been trying to focus on improving the truck's handling in the center of the corner, trying to work some of the tight out. Now, the air pressure change they made on the last stop has made some dramatic improvement on that 88, plus that clean air out front doesn't hurt. Herbie?
Well, Matt, the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, a little bit snug when he's right behind the 88. But the biggest issue for the 8, as they've been discussing, is the restarts. He's felt like he's had a couple of bad restarts. He's trying to clean off the tires as good as he possibly can, but he's spinning the tires on the restarts and knows he needs to improve on that coming down the stretch. to get to good track position. The 19 still a little bit too free. He was hoping to be able to restart on the outside as well, but he'll restart third at the bottom of the racetrack, but still a little free on the 19, Vince.
Well, as far as our championship leader, Eric Jones, is concerned, they've worked on the balance of this truck throughout the couple of pit stops that they've made. They said Eric said it fired off a little tighter than he would like on that previous restart, but otherwise the balance is pretty good. And right now he's running 8th, sitting in the catbird seat to try to secure that championship.
Well, and that 8th position is huge, Vince, because it means he restarts in the outside lane, and we've talked so many times tonight what an advantage that is.
Yeah, but this rash of cautions that have happened have put a lot of trucks back on the lead lap. Just keep that in mind. There's 21 racing trucks on the lead lap. Any kind of miscue or bobble by the truck of Eric Jones, and he goes from the catbird seat to out back.
We got a lot of trucks behind him too that just put fresh tires on because they took the wave around before. We'll see what those fresh tires are worth. These guys only had about 10 laps on this last set of tires.
Keep an eye also on Daniel Suarez, restarting 11th, had that spin earlier when he was in front of the field. When the green flag goes in the air, there will be 56 laps to go. And once again, Matt Crafton, as the control truck, chooses the outside lane. He's led 42 laps here tonight.
Another good start by Crafton.
He's got the restarts figured out tonight. But look how hard John Hunter charges down into turn 1. He's just going to drive around the bottom and pass Crafton.
I thought Eric Jones was going to go outside of 3 wide, tucks in line behind Daniel Hemrick.
Keep an eye on some of these trucks that just put 4 tires on. Christopher Bell, the 54, John West Townley, the 05, or a couple of them.
Oh, Spencer Gallagher slips and nearly takes out Ben Kennedy.
Look at Christopher Bell, black and orange truck, that 54. Phil mentioned he took tires, pitting there at lap 75. He was quick in practice, and right now he's on the move.
Pulls beside and around his teammate Eric Jones in the 4 truck.
What about that 31 truck up high back there? That's Rico Abreu. He's cracked inside the top 10. What a great charge for him. But we got a battle for the lead.
8s are wild at the front. The 88 of Matt Crafton on the inside. That's the black 8 of John Hunter Nemechek trying to make it work up high.
A great corner by Matt Crafton. Did the slide job, it worked, and he kept his momentum.
These slide jobs are going to get more and more aggressive, Phil, as laps wind down. People will try to dive in there and take positions away. We've already seen one slide job go awry with Daniel Suarez getting spun around.
You'll give him some room with 54 laps to go. How about with 14 laps to go? Not so much.
Not going to happen.
Speaking of Suarez, I'm surprised he slid backwards on the restart. Was 11th, now 14th. You see him there in the orange 51.
Just so interesting, I think, Adam, how much these trucks change when they get in all that heavy traffic. That air's buffeting around. That truck probably feels to Suarez like something he hasn't driven all day long.
Look at Bell picking off another spot inside of Reddick to put himself inside the top 5. He's going to complete the pass.
That's a great illustration of what tires are worth. Remember, only 10 laps on these guys' tires that didn't come to pit road. The guys with fresh tires, the 54, Christopher Bell, one of them, on his way to the front, Matt.
On the move, another driver making his first start here at Homestead. Now, earlier in the race, his spotter was telling him, you've got to move closer to the wall to get more of a secure exit. That did improve, but also the truck was still too free. So they made a chassis adjustment on that truck the last stop, besides the 4 tires, and it has certainly come to life.
Another driver to keep an eye on. There's Suarez. Looks like did he get in the wall? Maybe some smoke coming off the right side. Yes, he did.
Clear low, clear low.
Tough night for Daniel. Couple of mistakes.
Caution's out, caution's out. Debris in 2.
4th caution of the night. Second time it's come out for Daniel Suarez.
He was racing around John West Townley. They were battling for the 12th spot.
See him down on the inside. Going to do the slide job on John West. I just think he overshot it. I just think as he got down in the center of the corner, let that truck go up the hill. It was going a little bit faster than the tires would hold.
Looks like Tyler Young will be the first truck 1 lap down. He'll get the free pass. He scored in the 22nd position. Rico Abreu had spent some time in the top 10. He's 15th right now, and perhaps the reason he drifted back from that 10th position is this. into the wall.
Yeah, the crew chiefs and the spotters say, hey, the higher you go, the more grip there is. That's why there's black streaks all around this wall here, because there's such a small margin for error.
I believe I might call the spotter back and say, well, you do it then. I mean, there's a wall there. There's a reason.
Come and ride with me then.
But you know who was coaching him today? Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson.
And we know where he likes to run. He'll go out and flirt with that wall.
We're in our window right now. There's 51 laps to go. There'll be 50 this time. I think we got to come.
I do too.
And even if you come here, you still have another set of tires. Yeah. And they are going to make it down pit road. These stops will come at lap 84. Here comes Eric Jones. Your way, Vince.
Well, things are certainly unfolding in a better manner for Eric Jones than they did at the start when he initially fell back several positions. They like the way the truck is handling after initial changes by crew chief Rudy Fugel. In fact, Eric said right there, it's really good. I just need track position. Matt Crafton is in, and Matt has it.
The truck, the best it has been all night. No chassis adjustments for Crafton. The most important stop of the season. Several trucks will beat him off pit road. Hermie.
The 19 of Tyler Reddick still fighting a loose condition, 4 tires, and an air pressure adjustment for Tyler Reddick as they race off pit road.
A number of drivers playing strategy there. It's those drivers that had made pit stops and got tires at lap 75. They go fuel only. Matt Crafton got 4 tires, and he's the first off pit road in that category. Only 50 laps to go in the season finale. We're getting close to crowning a champion. Fox Supports is proud to support Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. 48 laps to go for the Camping World Truck Series here at Homestead Miami Speedway in the Ford EcoBoost 200. And look at the point situation as they are on track. Eric Jones came in with a 19-point advantage. He knew if he finished 15th or better, regardless of what anyone else did, he would be the champion in 2015. His advantage right now is 13 points.
I think we can move that to 16th because Tyler Reddick would have had to lead the most laps in order to make it finishing 15th. He's not done that. He hasn't even led yet today.
What can you tell us, Vince?
With the crew chief of the Ford truck, and that's Rudy Fugel. How would you assess the way the night is unfolding for you guys so far?
So far, it's going really well. Truck's handling really good. Eric's being smart and staying out of trouble, keeping a little bubble and a little gap. So hopefully we can continue it and finish things off for KBM and Toyota and have a great night.
You haven't had great track position tonight, and there's been a couple of times where he's been 2, 3 wide. How do you feel when you see your truck in that position?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're in the right spot, you know, the top side's usually safe. So, you know, you keep up with that, and it's just part of racing. So if you're going to be in the back a little bit trying to be safe, you're in those spots on the restart. So it is what it is.
How are your nerves?
Thank you.
How are your nerves?
Oh, I'm fine right now. Only 50 to go, I think, so.
But who's counting, right?
Well, Vince, I want to look at the front end of this field. And Christopher Bell is going to be the race leader on the restart. He, John West Townley, and David Levine did not pit under caution. They will be first, second, and third. The guys right behind them, Jesse Little, Austin Terrio, Ray Black Jr., came down pit road, got fuel only. And the first guy on the restart that got tires, Matt Crafton, he scored 7th.
What you just described is this is going to be a mess. You've got all kinds of varying strategies up front, differing agendas.
And they're going to have different speeds with these trucks.
Way. And when they throw the green flag, they'll be 3 wide into turn 1 and possibly 4 wide off turn 2. This is going to get exciting.
Tyler Reddick going to restart in the 9th position. Eric Jones, our championship leader, goes 14th.
And with everything that Michael mentioned, will be going on right in front of him.
Yeah, that could be right where it's the worst, too.
Big moment when you talk about the championship on this restart. Bell chooses the outside lane, consistent with what we've seen all evening long from the race leader. 46 to go as the green flag goes back in the air at Homestead.
A little bit of tire spin. Look at Jesse Little got seized up there. The 97 truck
hurt the momentum of the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, who is restarting with Matt Crafton. They're bottled up into one. smoke for Ray Black Jr.
Ray got run into from behind.
I was watching Eric Jones on that start, Phil, and he gave himself a nice bubble, like Rudy Fugel said. There was no issue on the start, but he's certainly given him a lot of space now. Look at Jones. He sees Black Jr. up there with the smoking tire. You just soon get around him in a hurry.
Yeah, Eric Jones said he's going to be on the high side. Let me be on the low side. I don't want to be anywhere near him in case he cuts a tire down.
At the front, Townley had the lead. Crafton takes it away.
Yeah, that's just an illustration of those 4 fresh tires for Matt Crafton.
Great job by Townley on that start to grab the lead away from Christopher Bell. I think it's really interesting. Bell won on the dirt in Eldora. These guys today were talking about this is a whole lot like a dirt track the way we're sliding around here, and he's strong here.
On board with Scott Lagasse Jr. for the restart.
Here he goes and has to stop because John Hunter Nemechek is behind the 07. He may have run into the 07 because the 07 was the guy behind the 97 of Jesse Little.
But Jesse didn't get going. Look at Tyler Reddick all up next to the wall, running in that 3rd spot.
Daniel Suarez has led 10 laps tonight. A couple of problems. We get word that he's taken his Toyota to the garage. These drivers running inside the top 5. Townley is 2nd. It's Tyler Reddick in the 3rd position, and right behind him you've got Christopher Bell, who was the leader on the restart, and Nemechek trying to rally back to the front after being slowed when we got the green flag.
And I think the longer we run with these guys on old tires, the more those new tires are really going to show up. The 05 John West Townley, the 54 Christopher Bell, 2 of those. Look at we talked about the 19, all up against the wall and sideways.
The greatest news, if you're a fan of the Camping World Truck Series, the announcement that Tyler Reddick is going to be back full-time next year, because this kid is entertaining.
Eric Jones has made his way back up into the top 10, going to try to make his way around the 29 of Austin Theriault. Going to try to do it in the middle of the racetrack, see if he can clear him by the time they exit the corner. Looks like he's got it.
Good night for Theriault. They haven't had it easy, but continue to battle back, and he scored right now in the 10th position. 2nd and 3rd right here. The 19 of Reddick in the runner-up position. That's Townley right behind him.
John West Townley has really done a nice job with those tires that are about 10 laps older than a lot of these competitors he's racing against.
Yeah, that's a strong truck. Early in the race, he was able to run top 5 times back in the 10th or 12th position. Check this out. It's about as good as it's been lately. Tyler Reddick within 11 points as they run on the track now.
Best thing for Eric Jones, the traffic is spread out again. He's got that cushion he needs, the bubble around him, to ensure he's going to get the finish he needs to claim the title.
Yeah, I think he'd love to see this race go green the rest of the way. He pitted with 50 laps to go. Should be able to make that on fuel. No caution flags, no more restarts.
Here's Nemechek. Inside of Townley, that's the battle for 3rd. And it didn't last long. Pressure tires for Nemechek, and perhaps that's starting to pay dividends as he rallies back toward the front. Tell you, for all the ground he lost on that restart, Michael, we're starting to see just how good John Hunter is.
Yeah, this truck's special tonight. He's been able to really dive hard into the corners when the tires go off. When the tires wear out, he's able to still get down in the corner better than everybody he's racing, and that's how he's been able to make passes. Just like Hemrick is down on the inside of Peters, but he couldn't hold it down there. It seems like Nemechek's able to keep diving into the corner despite the tires wearing out.
Haven't called Hemrick's name a lot tonight. Good in practice, good in qualifying. The North Carolina native, 7th in the running order with the championship leader bearing down behind him. On board with Eric Jones. 38 laps away from a championship in the Camping World Truck Series, and his mentality has not changed. He picks up another spot. Move him up to 7th. Matt Crafton, the race leader. He's dominated tonight, leading 56 of our 97 laps here at Homestead. It continues to be the Matt Crafton Show here in Homestead, Florida. The man that's won the last 2 championships has led 61 laps here tonight. His advantage right now, 4 seconds over second-place Tyler Reddick. John Hunter Nemechek has worked his way into third and gaining ever so slightly on the 19. Fourth right now, Ben Kennedy. John West Townley has done a nice job, scored inside the top 5. The rest of the top 10, Timothy Peters, followed by our championship leader, Eric Jones. There's Peters going for the 5th position, so move Townley back to 6th. Then it's Jones, Sauter, Hemrick, and Christopher Bell.
See, John West Townley, remember, he has a little bit older tires than these other guys. Really has done a pretty nice job staying up in the 6th spot. Most of these teams have pitted 3 times for tires. They have 1 more set in the pits, and I was talking to Junior Joyner this morning, and I said, hey, how late is too late to put your last set of tires on? He said, if I'm leading on a green-white checker, I come in for tires.
I love that. What about Ben Kennedy? We got to give him a shout out. Everybody in the top 5 have won races in the Truck Series except for Ben. And he's a guy that could very well be our next first-time winner. We talk about Suarez. I think Spencer Gallagher is going to win in this series. That's why I can't wait for 2016. See who the breakout driver of the year is. We predicted that Eric Jones would be tough this season. We knew Matt Crafton would be as well. But Tyler Reddick, he started the season with a big win at Daytona and raced for a championship. Who will be that guy next year? Could be Ben Kennedy.
He was 3rd earlier this season at Las Vegas, a driver that has adapted well to the 1.5 miles. And no announcement on exactly what he'll be doing in 2016, but you hope he's right back here in the Truck Series.
And he proved how versatile he is as well by doing so well in Canada on the road course.
On board with Eric Jones, running 7th with 29 to go.
Call or if we need to save fuel or whatever we need to do to be smart to make sure we finish it if we were, close. 10-4, I'm safely 2 laps to the good right now. Yep, 10-4. I said we get a little gap and we're all good there, and you'd feel better if we save some. Just don't be afraid to holler.
I think this team has managed this night really well. What's going on with the race leader, Matt?
Life is made up of small decisions that can end up having a huge impact. The Jones family, they're not 2nd or 3rd generation racers. They just love the sport. In 2004, Mom Carol was flying home from a business trip. Bored, she picked up that free magazine you always see in the seat back, stumbling across an ad for a quarter midget racing. She thought, what a great idea. Father Dave, without any racing experience, found a quarter midget and a manual on chassis setup. Eric quickly responded with speed and wins. And obviously, he found his calling. Many trophies and accomplishments along the way. And you fast forward to 2 weeks ago. After winning Texas, Eric's uncle texted Carol saying, what a great idea indeed. Adam, can you imagine? Had she not taken that flight, not been bored, history tonight certainly could have been different.
No question about it, and I'm sure both of his parents, Carol and Dave, anxious in the closing laps here tonight. Nothing more difficult than watching your kid compete and knowing there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's Dave right there, and he told me several weeks ago that it indeed was Carol's idea to get Eric into racing and get into that quarter midget.
Well, when he showed up, he was just different than most. He was special. He could just go fast from the beginning and won races. I mean, I'm just thinking of some of the big wins, not only in the Truck Series, but in Xfinity and the job he's done when he's gotten some Cup opportunities. This kid is a future Cup champion, in my opinion.
Could very well be going for his 2nd championship in as many years next year when he moves up to run the number 20 Xfinity car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Good battle for 2nd on track. On board with Tyler Reddick, who currently has the runner-up spot, and behind him, John Hunter Nemechek, who's been strong, leading 24 laps here tonight.
Hard to make that move down there. John Hunter's getting loose. Look at him slide sideways.
But he knows, Phil, with 25 to go, if he doesn't make this pass now, he has no chance to run down Matt Crafton. These guys 5 seconds behind the leader.
How about sideways and keeping pace? That was an impressive slide off turn 2, and he's trying for more off 4.
Never checked up either.
2 second-place finishes in his last 3 starts. This kid has all the tools to be a championship contender in 2016 as well.
Over 5 seconds behind Matt Crafton right now with 24 laps to go, but so many times we get caution flags late in these races, and it really changes things.
Remember, Crafton looked to be driving off to the victory in Phoenix when we got a late caution, and he got beat on the restart down into turn 1 by Eric Jones, and that eventually led to the crash that the two of them had, racing hard for the win. Let's see if Nemechek can, now that he's cleared Reddick, start to cut into that 5-second lead. That time by is about 1/10 of a second better than our leader, Matt Crafton.
Crafton was in a little bit of traffic, which could help Nemechek, depending on where each of them catches the lap vehicles. Meanwhile, Eric Jones, 12 seconds behind the race leader, but comfortably running 6th with 23 to go.
How about this battle? That is a battle for position 2. Terrio, the 29, Haley, the 13, and Gallagher in the 23, all racing for the 11th spot.
Some good young talent right there.
We know Spencer Gallagher will be back with GMS Racing. Austin Terrio has announced that he really didn't know what he was going to do next year, and we're hoping we're hoping Cameron Haley, sounds like he might be back with ThorSport next year. Not confirmed, but looking that way.
Start putting together the championship picture for 2016. That would be an enormous chore right now, because all these young kids gaining so much experience and showing. Once they get that experience, they can compete week in and week out.
I think right now we would have to make Matt Crafton the favorite, and then you could put about 6 or 8 hungry young lions that are going to be right there nipping at his heels. It's going to be interesting to see the Johnny Sauter move. Johnny Sauter's a championship contending race driver. He could be a part of the story as well.
And now our Camping World 20 to go. 20 laps remaining in 2015 for the Camping World Truck Series. Spencer Gallagher getting close to the wall.
If not into the wall, he lost all his momentum, lost that spot to Haley. Now Terrio side by side with him.
Put
down
Haley,
into 1.
Put Haley up in the 11th spot. See if Gallagher scrubs the wall down in 3 and 4.
A little bit of a touch there with the right rear corner, but just enough momentum loss to lose that 1 spot.
What are they saying, Vince?
Well, they've been fighting loose off with that truck throughout the course of the night. They just haven't really found the balance, and still Gallagher's been able to race his way up and around the top 10. It's his birthday today, so he really wants to have a good celebration at the end of it, and more than anything, celebrate a strong finish, but a little bit too free for his liking right now.
Yeah, I think we can say check on that one, Vince. That thing's sideways the last couple of laps. He's doing a great job of hanging on to it.
I think Terrio was sideways right in front of him that last lap.
Just in front of them, the 54 of Christopher Bell. Inside the top 10, doing a very nice job at a 1.5 miles he had never seen before he came here yesterday.
It may be questionable whether Christopher Bell will have enough fuel to get to the end. He pitted on lap number 75, which gives him 59 laps to run. That's a little bit outside the pit window. We had a handful of caution laps for that last caution. That may be enough to get him in the window, but you know, you're running around the high side. You're making this track as long as it can be right now.
Another guy you have to give an attaboy to, Rico Abreu, was a lap down, got the free pass. He's 14th and only his 2nd career start, and he's done some impressive things on track, not just tonight, but throughout the day in practice and qualifying.
Yeah, I love watching this young man. Got so much zest for racing a truck, loves every minute of it. A lot of support down in the garage area from his buddies on the sprint car racing world, the dirt series that he grew up racing. Not a lot of experience, has gotten in this truck, and look at that, running just inches from the wall.
I think he's getting the hang of running up high. What do you think?
Well, we know he's not going to be intimidated by that.
Yeah, we had Kyle Larson that was in his pit earlier, and there's nobody on earth that wants to or likes to run any higher than Kyle Larson.
Well, I think Rico's saying, I got what you're talking about, Kyle. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I'm running right next to the wall, and there is some grip up here.
Just joining us on this Friday night, Matt Crafton has dominated here at Homestead. He's going to lead the most laps, 77 circuits out front. His advantage right now, 5.5 seconds over second place John Hunter Nemechek, who himself has been out front for 24 laps tonight. Our championship drivers coming in. Eric Jones had a 19-point lead, just needed to finish 15th to win the championship. He is 6th. In fact, he's the worst of our top 3 in points coming in. They have all delivered in the season finale.
Phil, wouldn't you say Matt Crafton might be scratching his head a little bit? Mr. Consistency, Matt Crafton's always been, and that consistency has taken him to 2 straight championships. This year, if he's able to win tonight, 6 wins, he's going to be thinking what could have been with some big accidents that really took points away from him last week at Phoenix, Talladega, and then you remember the big wreck at St. Louis.
And I asked Matt that very thing. I said, what do you look back on? He said, well, there's several you can look back. Obviously, Gateway, Talladega was 2 that he mentioned, and he said, I certainly didn't want last week to end up like it did, but he said, but without a doubt, still my best season ever in the history of this series.
You look at the numbers, 10 career wins. 5 of them have come in 2015. More laps led, better season average, and despite all of that, he could come home 3rd in the championship instead of claiming his 3rd in a row.
Well, the championship's what it's all about, but most racers, they just want to go out and beat everybody, and he's been able to do that 5 times this year, and in another 13 laps, could make it 6.
Prior to tonight, he'd led more laps this season than he did the first 12 or 13 years of his career here in the Truck Series.
And look at him, he's focused, driving the heck out of that Tundra.
When it's all said and done tonight, he should just step back and applaud the 2 19-year-olds that from day one have served notice. While we respect the champion and the veteran, we want a title as well.
Really quite amazing that we can have 2 19-year-olds led by this number 4 right here of Eric Jones that have had the seasons that they've had, Tyler Reddick being the other 19-year-old.
And let's think about these owners. Duke and Rhonda Thorson for Crafton, Brad Keselowski for Reddick, and Kyle Busch. These truck teams, they don't make a lot of money, if any. And it's just people that want to race. They have a passion for putting a product on the track. Toyota supports, Ford supports. They're all in this to win races, and it isn't about making money. It's about being the best. Love what we see on the track in the Truck Series.
11 to go to a championship for Eric Jones, Vince.
And no major concerns for the 4 at this point. Eric says the truck is out of the track more than he would like, but otherwise it's fine. They've got plenty of fuel to get to the end. You know, it's fitting. Eric Jones, his boyhood hero, was Jeff Gordon, and on the weekend when Jeff Gordon is racing for a championship in his final year as a race car driver, Eric Jones on the verge of winning his first. It's a special, special weekend in a number of ways for Eric Jones and his family. Matt?
Vince, impressive run again for 20-year-old Norman, Oklahoma native Christopher Bell. He's running in the 9th position. Remember, he grabbed all the headlines on the dirt at Eldora, scoring his first career win. Right now, though, the concern is, does he have enough fuel to get to the finish? Eddie Tracona's told him, try to save fuel. At this juncture, we may be over a lap short on making it to the finish.
It's never easy, is it?
It's always something, it seems. Bell's able to clear Tyler Young, slide up, and just baby that throttle a little bit, maybe off the corner to try to save a little bit of fuel.
Phil, you said with 30 to go, neither Eric Jones, who's trying to win this championship, or Matt Crafton, who was leading the race, wanted a caution. They just wanted it to go green and finish it off. But right now, closing on 8 laps to go, there is no doubt the last thing they want to see is that yellow flag in the air here at Homestead.
And John Hunter Nemechek in the 2nd spot, 3.5 seconds back. I'd like a caution.
Yeah, totally.
I've cut 2 seconds off Matt Crafton's lead in the last 10 laps. You put me up there with him, and I'm going to beat him.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick would like a caution as well and try to make something happen here.
Battle for 11th. These guys are really going at it. Birthday boy back there looking on.
Remember, John West Townley in the same boat as Christopher Bell, pitted on lap number 75, has to be a little bit concerned about fuel as well.
You know, Adam, you're talking about the 2 19-year-olds. It reminds me of a day I was racing in Darlington, and Brian Vickers and Kyle Busch were 1-2, and I was 3rd. I added their age together. It didn't equal mine. And I said, I might be time to find something else to do. Matt Crafton's age equals exactly the 2 guys that he's racing for this championship with, but I know Matt Crafton, he's like, I can beat these kids. I've got this series, and next year, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
He said it earlier today. I might be 39 years old, but I am still a competitor, and I want to win. And I think you're seeing that tonight, that they were motivated coming here this weekend, especially after what's happened the last couple of weeks. They got that win at Martinsville, couldn't finish it off at Texas. The problems last week at Phoenix, they serve notice. We want to be in 2016 tonight with a big win at Homestead.
Yeah, Junior Joyner said six wins. That's why we're here in Miami, to get that 6th victory.
You know, Michael, I totally agree with you. Anytime that Matt Crafton is going to be in that Thor Sport truck and is going to be a full-time competitor in the truck series, he's definitely one of the favorites for the championship.
5 laps to go for Matt Crafton.
Well, just think about the talent this young man has. Talking to Travis Pastrana, he went and got one of his rallycross cars and taught Travis a thing or two. I mean, this kid is amazing at anything he jumps in, and he can just dissect the chassis, and that's why he and Junior Joyner, I think, have such a great relationship. They both know that they know exactly what that truck needs and what Matt wants.
He jumped in Kyle Busch's Cup car at Daytona for the Daytona 500. Had a top 20 finish there after Kyle got hurt in the Xfinity race. He's run RCR's Xfinity cars several times in the past. Always runs up front, finishes up in the top 5.
And one thing I really admire about Matt Crafton, his loyalty to the Camping World Truck Series. He's been here a long time and a great ambassador for NASCAR.
You know, but you have to appreciate him and what he's doing and how much passion he has for it.
We'll see 3 laps to go when he comes off the turn 4 and back to the start-finish line.
16th place running Scott Lagasse Jr. That's a respectable run for that team. Scott's done a nice job tonight, hanging on the lead lap here.
Christopher Bell.
Without a doubt, out of fuel. We talked about it. Pitted on lap number 75. Had to run 59 laps. Couldn't do it.
I don't know if he's going to make it or not, Phil. He's just off turn 2. You saw Junior Joyner talking with his hands to his crew. That was making adjustments to the tires, just in case there's a caution here late and he needs to pit. If there's a green-white checker, these boys are going to put on tires, I believe.
That's the last thing that Christopher Bell wanted to do, was bring out a caution flag for his teammate Eric Jones. You saw him pull as far off the racetrack behind the safer barrier as he could. I think we stayed green.
2 laps to go for Matt Crafton. 3 miles to his 6th win of the year. And for Eric Jones, 3 miles to become the youngest champion in Camping World Truck Series history.
Matt Crafton right now perfectly content to ride behind that 0 truck of Scott Lagasse Jr. Doesn't have to pass that truck.
No need to push it. 3.5-second advantage.
Comes off turn 4 looking for
white flag, 1 more lap.
That white flag.
White flag in the air. Next flag will end this one.
See him in the middle of the racetrack, not taking any chances of flirting with that outside wall.
Team has had a remarkable season. Never back down. Knew there was little hope coming to Homestead to win the championship, but they wanted to make a statement, and they have done just that. Matt Crafton going to lead 93 laps and in dominating fashion get his 6th win of the year, Crafton's first victory at Homestead. And 15 seconds behind him.
Way to put it on him, your champs in my eyes, baby. Yeah.
It's going to be history at Homestead. The youngest champion ever in the Camping World Truck Series, Eric Jones.
What you hear there is relief. That's over, thankfully.
We did it. That's 22 strong races. That's an awesome race team. Thank you, guys. Phil Brights for the last 3 years. Thank you. Great job, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Tony. Take a picture. Let's do it.
I remember 4 or 5 weeks ago talking to Rudy Fugle about being in this position and how Eric Jones would handle it at age 19. He said it's not as big a spot as you may think because he's been driving trucks down the stretch in years past when we were going after an owner's championship, he understands the pressure, and his performance on track would indicate that he does, in fact, get it. Tonight, he becomes the 14th Truck Series champion.
The Owners' Championship doesn't get quite as much publicity as the Drivers' Championship, but now, tonight, they're going to get them both.
Toyota celebrated big time here a year ago. Darrell Wallace Jr. won the race. Kyle Busch got the Owners' Championship. Matt Crafton won the Drivers' title. Toyota celebrating big again. Crafton wins the race. And your 2015 Camping World Truck Series champion is Erik Jones.
How fitting is that? Last week, Red Horse Racing drives a Toyota to victory lane and clinches the Manufacturers' Championship. Tonight, Kyle Busch Motorsports wins the championship and Thor Sports win the race. Everybody pitched in this championship run.
Let's join the celebration and send it to Vince Welsh.
Well, everyone agrees that Erik Jones is special, and no one has had a closer view of it than Rudy Fugle, his crew chief. What stands out in your mind about your season with Erik as the crew chief?
He just gets it. He does everything right. He's just a student of the racing. He pays attention to everything, and he's tenacious. But in the same, he's cool. You know, he's cool as a cucumber. Max Pappas told us that earlier today. He just does everything right. So it's so fun for everybody at KBM, everybody back at the shop, everybody top to bottom, all the employees, everybody at Toyota, everywhere, and thank you.
Of course, it's the Drivers' Championship tonight, but it's also the Owners' title for KBM, the third in a row. You've been a part of all three. What makes it so special?
It's awesome. 3 in a row is amazing. You know, just be a part of all 3 of them, do everything, and these guys, it's all about all these guys. They just, they never quit. They build fast race trucks, and Kyle and Samantha are amazing. They're great owners. I couldn't want to work for anybody else.
Congratulations. You earned it.
Thank you very much.
Hermie?
Well, Tyler Reddick, you end up 15 points back from a championship effort. Discuss your effort tonight and your overall thoughts on the season now that the season is wrapped up.
Well, our guys had a great year all year long, all season long. We had a great strong effort. All of our guys in our BB, our music group Ford was really good. Just got to thank Kraus Yates, Ford Performance. A lot of people really went out of their way to get us in this championship hunt and stay up there all season long. Unfortunately, we were just a little short, but work on it. Thank goodness I got next year to try and chip at it and try and get it done, and that's what we're looking forward to now.
What did you learn this year? I know it's early, but what did you learn this year that you think will help you next year take that one step you need to be in the other end of this racetrack?
I think I was a little too aggressive at times where I shouldn't have been. Obviously, I got to understand when I need to bring it home 10th. There's a couple races there where I could have finished inside the back half of the top 10. Got a little too aggressive and ended up finishing 16th and 19th. So clean those. I mean, those are only 2 really bad races for us. We take care of those. You know, we had a really good year. We weren't far off for sure.
That's Tyler Reddick. Solid season for the 19th.
No question about it, Hermie. And if you look at the stat line for Erik Jones, you would think he would win the championship in a runaway, but only by 15. That's because of the great season Tyler Reddick had. Full post-race coverage from Homestead next.
Hello, racing fans. You're now watching Fox Sports Live. I'm J. Stan. We're going to get you back up to Homestead in seconds for more on the big Erik Jones win in the Truck Series Championship.
We take a look at how we got to this point in the Sprint Cup Series. We go radioactive, and you have to see the Race Hub War Room on the last race in the chase.
Now, back to Jamie on the truck, Adam, Michael, and Phil, all of them at Homestead.
Jamie working way harder on the truck than we are in the booth, I might add. A great night here in Homestead, Florida. Matt Crafton able to get his 6th win of 2015. And it's Erik Jones who wins the championship this season. Now our Ram guts and glory, it's about driver 88, who despite the fact he had very little chance to win the title, came here and delivered on the track.
They absolutely had one goal in mind here, and that was to lead the most laps and win this race, and they did that, led 93 laps.
Well, let's hear from Matt Crafton and send it to Matt Yoakum right now.
Matt Crafton needed a walk-off home run, tremendous performance, first time he ever won from the pole. Is this a statement performance looking ahead to 2016?
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, this thing was really good. On the first run, we fired off really good and then just got
pretty tight through the middle of the corner, and Junior, like I said, it's amazing. The little small adjustments he does, and like I said, just the communication that we have, and just kept tuning on it, and that last ride, it was just phenomenal. Like I said, I was having so much fun right there at the end, and they're trying to slow me down, but I'm like, I want to see how far I can get out. But it's all about these guys behind me that build these trucks, and I'm just the lucky guy that gets to drive them. Like I said, it's been awesome.
So close to winning your third consecutive championship this year. So many great moments. What are you most proud of what's been a career year?
Oh, just 6 wins and as many laps as we've led. It's been awesome. Like I said, it's been, like I said, a dream season there. We just had too many mistakes. I mean, I made mistakes. I mean, we've all made mistakes, and we're all human. But 2016, we're going to be stronger from it.
Add one more accomplishment, his first win here at Homestead. Adam?
5 of those 6 victories, Matt, coming at 1.5 mile venue. So when it comes to these types of facilities, there is no doubt that 88 bunch is really dialed in.
And we've got 9 of them. Had 9 this year, and we'll have 9 again next year.
Let's hear from John Hunter Nemechek. Strong run for him tonight. Finished second, Hermie.
Well, John Hunter Nemechek comes up 1 spot short. What an effort for your race team. It seemed like you had a good truck on long runs that came down to restarts in a lot of cases for you guys.
Yeah, it definitely did. That last restart, we just kind of got shuffled out there. I don't know who was on the top lane and didn't get to go in there or miss a shift or whatever, but that killed us. 88 got the big lead, and so we made up over 3 seconds there at the end trying to catch him, and I can't thank all these guys enough. Jerry Kennan, Joe, my dad, everyone that works on these trucks. Without them, none of this would be possible. But it's special to be back here in the number 8 in the Chevy Silverado. We're looking forward to next year and carrying this momentum in.
I was going to ask you that. What is the status of this race team, and what do you need to ensure a good, solid, full season run again in 2016?
We're still working on setting everything in stone, but we're still looking for sponsorship, trying to get that settled down, locked in, so we can go run a full season.
It's John Hunter Nemechek. He comes home second tonight.
And another strong performance from the Red Horse team of Timothy Peters. The last 8 races, 6 top 5s, a couple of wins. It's been a secret to the way you guys finished this thing.
Just a lot of momentum. It was so cool to get on the roll at Chicago, and then in the last 4 races, we win 2. And just an unbelievable year. Thanks to everybody at Red Horse Racing for what they do. Toyota, Triad, Horsepower. Just, Vince, this is the kind of streak that you dream about. I wish we could go to Daytona next week and start all over, but, just a strong effort by everybody involved. The guys back at the shop, Notch Gear, Liquid Performance, Goodridge, Russo's, Honda Generators. And, hey, thanks for Tom Deluxe for giving me an opportunity.
Absolutely. Great job. Timothy Peters, 5th place tonight. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And back in victory lane with the winning crew chief, Junior Joyner. You've got your hands full, not only with the driver, great performance, but with the little guys as well. Special night.
Oh, man, it don't get no better than this. I'm just so proud of this team. There's no quit in them. Duke, Ronda, Thorson, Triad, Toyota, everybody, Menards. Man, what a night. What a year, And we'll just we'll come back, we'll build more, and we'll build them stronger next time. Right, buddy?
And Matt touched on a couple mistakes along the way cost you, but you have to be impressed by his tenacity and his drive here tonight.
Yeah, I told him when he pulled in, I said, man, I make you look good an awful lot, but I sure like it when you make me look good. So it works both ways. Yeah, man, he's awesome. I wouldn't trade him for nobody.
Congratulations. Good luck on 2016 as they try to get another championship. Guys?
And while the celebration winds down in victory lane, the celebration just beginning at the championship stage. Eric Jones is pulled down here in the front straightaway. He will take the helmet off, and it won't be long before the fireworks fly, and we will begin our official celebration of the man that has won the championship in 2015 in the Camping World Truck Series.
Michael talked to him on the radio on the pace laps. We listened in to him 2 or 3 times during the race. Just cool as could be. Never excited. Was running anywhere from the 5th to the 10th spot pretty much the whole race, right where he needed to be. Did exactly what his game plan was.
What do you think Kyle Busch is thinking? I'm going to win the truck championship tonight, an Xfinity race tomorrow, and the Cup championship on Sunday. He's off to a pretty good start.
And he's got nothing else in mind other than doing that.
Here he is, your 2015 Camping World Truck Series champion, Eric Jones. And you get the feeling this is the first of many celebrations on one of NASCAR's top stages. Jamie Little standing by to talk to the champ.
And the celebration continues
The fireworks, the team is up here. Team owner Kyle Busch greets him here up on the stage. A few words. Eric, we'll have you come on up here. But first off, I'd like to introduce the CEO and chairman of this great sponsor of this series, Camping World, Good Sam, Marcus Lemonis. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's an exciting night. Really exciting to see the sport sort of go to a new level with this young man.
The future is certainly looking bright with Eric Jones. What do you have to say to him?
You know what, Eric? Congratulations for not only setting the example on the track, but setting the example off the track. We're very proud to have you be our series champion. Very proud. Congratulations.
And thank you to you for your continued support of this great series. And now I'd like to introduce, you all know him, the vice chairman of NASCAR, Mr. Mike Helton.
Thank you, Jamie. Eric, when the season started back in February up in Daytona, everybody said, all right, we think this Eric Jones kid's going to be okay. So you had a lot to live up to. You did that and then some. Congratulations to you, the Kyle Busch Motorsports Toyota team, Kyle and Samantha, for putting all this together, and we're honored to have you as our champion. Congratulations, and looking forward to celebrating with you Monday night.
All right, let's hear from our champion, Mr. Eric Jones. About 50 pounds to be exact. Eric, 19 years old, you just became the youngest champion in this series. And earlier in the series, there were times that you didn't think this moment was possible. There was some bad luck. You were racing in the Xfinity Series. You even subbed for some of your teammates in the Cup Series. How did you hold it all together and focus for this moment?
Well, I think a lot of it was just being with a great team here in Kyle Busch Motorsports and bringing great tundras to the racetrack every weekend. I think there were definitely times in the year where I didn't think we'd be able to do this, and looking back and seeing the deficit we were in at some points and just being able to really pull together and make this all happen here at the end of the year, man. It was just so special for everybody here, and to close off this run like this. I've had a great 3 years with these guys, and I couldn't think of a better way to thank them.
Well, Kyle Busch has done a lot in his career, but the one thing he hasn't done is win this title, the driver's title in the Truck Series. What does it mean to you to give that to him?
Well, it's just like I said, it goes back to I can't think of a better way to repay these guys, and I can't think of a better way to thank Kyle for all these years for just getting a driver's championship for him. He's wanted one since the company started, and to bring it home for myself and for KBM, you couldn't really ask for a better ending than that.
Well, let's just bring him in. He's talking to Mr. Mike Helton. Hey, Kyle, Samantha, come on over here. You've put your heart and soul into this team and this company, the fourth time now, the owner's champion, but you got something that you've never had before, and that's the driver's championship. Why is this so important and special to you?
Well, it's just special to everyone at Kyle Busch Motorsports. I mean, we've been in existence for 5 seasons, and this is obviously our 6 seasons, I guess, our 4th championship, but our first driver's championship. And it means so much more to have the opportunity to help these younger drivers and to help these kids that are coming up through the ranks to succeed and be successful, and to do that with Kyle Busch Motorsports and Toyota. There's nothing greater than to have that feeling and to build that company from the ground up, from nothing, and to take it to what it is today. It's a true honor for Samantha and I to be able to accept the Owners' Championship, but also our first Drivers' Championship with Eric Jones this weekend and this team. I mean, it takes all these people back here, plus everyone at home back at the shop, chassis shop, body shop, everybody. We do all of our own stuff, which is even more impressive that we're able to accomplish the things that we do here.
You discovered this guy a few years ago. It's the first time for a lot of us to see what he really is capable of. What did you see in him when he was about, 16 years old?
Yeah, he put it to me. He beat me in a super late model race, so, I enjoy racing all the kinds of things that I do. And when I go run the super late model things, I tend to pick up on the talents that are out there of younger kids. And Eric was probably most impressive. I remember the first time we raced against each other, he blew my doors off, and about 40 laps later, he blew up. So I was like, okay, good. good. I don't have to deal with him at the end of this one. But then it was the Snowball Derby actually later on that season that he was able to battle with me and some other guys to get the win in that race, and it was pretty impressive. You know, we didn't lay a door on each other. We didn't bang. We didn't bump. Nothing. He did it clean and beat us fair and square. So just really impressed to see what kind of kid he is, and his parents. I can't say enough about them and their opportunity to have him join our race team and stick with us. And you know, he didn't want to be there for 2 part-time seasons, but he was, and I think he learned a tremendous amount in those seasons. And to go full-time this year, we knew he was ready to tackle the championship, in which he did. And now we look forward to bigger and greater things with him at Joe Gibbs Racing next year in the Xfinity Series.
Congratulations, Kyle Busch from KPM, and of course Erik Jones going full-time in the Xfinity Series next year. Adam, I think the series is bright.
Yeah, I think the foundation is strong when you look at the career of Erik Jones. Youngest series champion. He does it by 15 points over Tyler Reddick.
But what an amazing season for Tyler Reddick, as well as our 2-time champion Matt Craft and Johnny Sauter. It seemed like he was 4th in points from the beginning of the year, and he stayed it to the very end. Timothy Peters jumped up in the top 5 late.
A lot of experience chasing those 2 19-year-olds to this title, but they just couldn't quite get there. What a great year for Erik Jones, and how much fun was it to see those 2 kids, Tyler Reddick and Erik Jones, come onto the main stage in NASCAR this year?
I just think it's great to be a part of a moment like this in NASCAR, because with Erik, you feel like it's the first of many. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime type driver to watch and get it done on track.
And he's got to be a favorite to win the Xfinity Championship. He's already won 2 Xfinity races in a limited schedule this year, just like he was able to win in this series before he went full-time. Kyle Busch said it perfectly. That probably helped him propel him to win this championship this year, the part-time seasons he ran for a couple years.
I can't wait to 2016. The Truck Series is strong. There's going to be a lot of kids trying to do what Erik Jones did this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, Adam.
Ford Championship weekend off and rolling. It's Matt Crafton who gets the checkered flag here tonight, but it's Erik Jones who hoists the trophy. He is the 2015 Camping World Truck Series champion. We offer our congratulations and send it to Dan in Los Angeles.
Like